Live from the MLB Urban Youth Academy. It's Game 5 of the season here for the Conejo Oaks. Welcome, everybody, into the press box, along with Jordan Brenner, our producer, Sean McKinnon. My name is Jonathan Ripton. Delighted to be with you on a beautiful Saturday afternoon from Compton, California. The Oaks are in Game 2 of a 3-game series against the Urban Youth Academy Barons. The Barons took yesterday's game by a score of 5-2. The Oaks could only muster up 5 hits in that game. The Barons 6 hits, but 11 strikeouts for Gutierrez. The final pitcher, the second pitcher of the game for the Barons, had the Oaks number. The Oaks struck out a total of 16 times in yesterday's game. Well, it's going to be an interesting game today. Both teams at 500. The Oaks coming in at 2-2, 2-1 in this, or excuse me, 1-2 in the CCL. The Barons come into today at 1-1, 1-1 in the CCL. Jordan Brenner, as we bring you in here, we saw a lot of struggling offense yesterday for the Oaks. As I mentioned, only 5 hits. They end up leaving a total 5 players on base and struck out 16 times. What do they do today to turn the tide, especially it being the first road game of the season?
Well, I think you come into the MLB Urban Youth Academy. It's a very hitter-friendly ballpark, and you take advantage of that. You know, left field at Cal Lutheran is almost a dead zone for a right-handed hitter. You come here, you come to the Urban Youth Academy, very little wind blowing. It's 327 to the shortest part of left field. I think right-handed hitters are in for a big day. Beyond that, I think it's very important for hitters to not take too many strikes. Yesterday, you saw hitters, particularly Sam Shaken, take too many strikes over the middle, get too far down on the count, and that's why you saw so many strikeouts. I look for hitters today to see fastballs early in the count and take advantage, try to get their ace swings off early in the at-bat.
Lackluster offense. We talked to head coach Solis after the game yesterday, and he told us, look, these batters were taking way too many strikes. Sam Shaken, a guy who doesn't normally take strikes, struck out 3 times. He did get a single back in the 5th inning of the game and also struck out and reached first on the drop third strike in the 8th. But overall, a 3 strikeout performance for him. Bart West had a double, but 3 strikeout performance from him as well. 2 strikeout performance at the bottom of the order for Velasquez. Overall, a struggling day for the Oaks. Even Brandon Lewis, went 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts and 2 flyouts. So loud outs are a big plus for the Oaks, but they have to be able to balance it with offense in the field. On the other side for the Barons, they had a fun day yesterday. Only 6 hits, but they left a total of 7 on base. Not a great stat, but the pitching really backed them up. As I mentioned earlier, 16 strikeouts, only 5 hits given up in a phenomenal pitching performance between the starter Nicolatis and Gutierrez behind him. It's going to be interesting to see how the Barons capitalize on yesterday's game on their first win in the CCL season with the new pitcher Spencer Hereford from Cal State and Dominguez Hills on the mound for them. Jordan, for the Oaks, what are the 2 main keys for them to take away today's game, and then on the other side for the Barons as well?
Hard contact off the bat early in the count. That's my major key. In addition to that, I think you have to remember, at the end of the day, the weakness of this team is the pitching. I think we're going to need to see a big outcome from Kevin Holcomb. Look, all these pitchers early in the season before the full roster is here, they're eating a lot of innings. You know, these arms are getting tired. I think it's important. Holcomb, he has a little bit of rest. He pitched in the 2nd game of the season. He pitched reasonably well. I think it's important for him to eat some innings and give some rest to these arms that are tired.
For Holcomb, in his first start, he did pitch relatively well against the Blues. Or not a start, in his first appearance. No runs in 3 innings. He did give up 2 hits and 1 walk as well. But overall, not a bad performance from him in those 3 innings that we've seen so far. He's getting his first start. And for the Oaks, they're still trying to round out the starting rotation here for this team. By the end of next week, head coach Lee's on basically every player here, and that's a big deal because that'll allow them to start having a daily rotation that we can expect. We'll be able to predict who the starter is. You'll be able to predict who the starter is, but right now, pitching by committee is the way the Oaks are going. They're averaging about 4 pitchers a game. Yesterday, they threw 4 pitchers to total the 9 innings, and overall, it was a pretty decent performance, but the Barons were able to get off early in the first inning with the first run, and then they scored 3 in the 4th off Bo Jelenik and Eddie Cutt. Overall, it was David Appleby. Overall, it was just a rough middle inning for the Oaks, and that's really where they lost it. We've seen them get off the slow start so far every game this season. They have yet to score first in a ball game. Every single team that they have played has scored in the first inning between the 2 games against the Blues, the 1 game against the Barons, and the opening day game against the SoCal Cubs. How do they change that? Are they looking to just try to play small ball in the first inning, get on the board early, or can we expect another attempt to come from behind here late in the game?
Yeah, I think you come out swinging, a little bit too much patience yesterday, as I've talked about. Look, the Oaks have done a pretty good job recovering from bad starts to games. They've trailed early in all games this season, and they've done a reasonably good job recovering from that. The record is still at 500, so considering you've been down so much, they've done a pretty good job fighting. Today, if they get down, I think it wears on you a little bit. A 5th game where you're trailing early in the game, that's not a positive thing. So it's important to get ahead in counts and take big swings to start off this one.
As we mentioned, the Oaks struggled in their game yesterday. 16 strikeouts for the Barons. We're going to get you to the starting lineup first for the visiting Conejo Oaks. We'll do the Barons batting order in the bottom of the first inning. Leading off and playing center field for the Oaks from the University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley, Elijah Alexander. Raymond Gomez is behind him out of second base from Oxnard. In the 3 spot is Sam Shaken. The shortstop from Valparaiso. The cleanup hitter for the Oaks is Brandon Lewis, playing first base, headed to UC Irvine in the fall. Bailey Holbrook follows him, DHing, undecided where he will go after the summer. Michael Tillman out in right field, and Pierce is in the 6th spot. Drew Sims behind the dish today from Utah Valley University is batting in the 7th spot. In the 8th spot is Will Pickett out at third base from Cal State University Bakersfield. And to round out the Oaks batting order, Tanner Wright out in left field from Cal Lutheran University. The pitcher on the mound getting his first start but 3rd appearance overall, Kevin Holcomb from Glendale City College. The field for you for the Barons out in the right is Roosevelt Barnes. In the center will be Andrew Wilson. In left, Cameron Dean. Hunter Lewis is over at first. Trent Anderson at second. Joshua Banuelos occupies shortstop. Over at third is Logan Pollock behind the dish. Jacob Shanks. And on the mound will be Spencer Hereford for the Barons. I'll give you a reiteration of their field here when they take the field. But for now, we're about 6 minutes away from game time. So we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, the national anthem, first pitch, and of course, the game. You're watching Oaks versus Barons right here on the Oaks Broadcasting Network. Back here at the MLB Urban Youth Academy, Oaks and Barons about to duke it out on the baseball diamond. But before we hit all of that, let's send down to our national anthem. Back here at the MLB Urban Youth Academy, a gorgeous facility in Compton, California, on the campus of Compton Community College. Hope everybody's enjoying their Saturday morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on where you are joining us from. We definitely appreciate you making this a part of your Saturday. Oaks baseball and the Barons getting set to duke it out here for game number 2 of the series. The Barons won yesterday in a 5-2 matchup that looks a lot closer than the box score actually shows. The Oaks only put up 5 hits and struck out 16 times in that game. Phenomenal performance for the Barons as they take the field here for their second home game. They're 1-1 on the season. On Wednesday in their season opener, they lost 13-3 to the Orange County Riptide. They had a day off before heading to Cal Lutheran yesterday to take the Oaks on, and the Oaks ended up losing 5-2 today. Now both these teams sitting at 500, looking to squeak above that mark and hopefully start a winning streak. It won't be easy for either of these two teams, though, because both of these teams are itching to get a win in that column. I'll give you a reiteration of the field for you for the Barons. Out and right is Roosevelt Barnes. Andrew Wilson is in center, and Cameron Dean in left. Hunter Lewis at first. Trent Anderson at second. Josh Banuelos occupies short over at third. Is Logan Pollock behind the dish. Jacob Shanks, and on the mound, Spencer Hereford as he warms up. Just from down the road, Cal State Dominguez Hills is where he calls his home. Warming up to his catcher, Jacob Shanks. The Oaks starting 3. Elijah Alexander, Ramon Gomez, and Sam Shaken look to get things started. The first base coach for the Oaks is Kyle Jones. The third base coach is Brian Wilson, headed by David Solis in his 8th year as head coach, 11th year with the team overall. And he will be looking to add some more wins to his total. Elijah Alexander digs in, swings and misses at the first pitch for strike 1. 104 game time on the first pitch. 82 degrees and wind blowing slightly out to left field. 0-1 taken for strike 2.
And quickly again, the Oaks getting down behind an account. Coach Solis is not going to be happy about that. They're going to have to switch it up real quick.
The 0-2 runs away, 1-2 the count. Elijah Alexander getting his second start of the young season here for the Oaks. The first game went 1 for 4 with an RBI single. The 1-2 runs away from him. Took a couple of games off and now ready to bat once again. He has a lot of power from the University of Texas Rio Grande Valley. Batted over 280 with a couple of walk-offs over the season. The 2-2 taken low and inside, or outside, 3-2 the count. And that was a pitch that was being called a strike yesterday, but a new umpire establishing the zone early, and every hitter has to be conscientious of that. Payoff pitch. Cracked over to second. Anderson is under it and fires it over to first in time for out number 1. The Barons lineup mostly the same with the exception of the bottom part of the order, Cameron Dean, Jacob Shanks. The 2 different batters in today's lineup.
Alexander has been struggling with 2 strikes, putting the ball in play, so even though no hit is rewarded to him, you could take some positive from that at-bat.
First pitch into Ramon Gomez, taken for strike 1. And one of the biggest things for the Oaks yesterday was taking strikes, as another one on the inside corner taken for strike 2. 0-2 the count. Gomez from Oxnard College. Batted in the second hole yesterday, went 1 for 4 with a single and a strikeout. The 0-2 runs low, 1-2 the count. Pitcher deals the 1-2. Goes behind Gomez, almost hit his left thigh, but just missed. Count is even now. Gomez on the season, batting .200. This is his 12th plate appearance. In 11 plate appearances, but 10 at-bats, he has 2 hits. A 2-2 cracked foul down the third base line, and we'll do it again.
I think the Oaks have to think the other way when they're hitting. That really helps prevent strikeouts. You get the ball in play, and when you do that, good things happen.
The 2-2 cracked foul once again. And we'll do it again, 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 pitch. Skied into left field. Dean is looking back at the track, the wall, and it's off the scoreboard. Ramon Gomez gets his first solo shot of the season, and for the first time of the season, the Oaks strike first in the ball game. They lead 1-0.
How about the first home run of the season to left field? Kind of nice to not have some home cooking for once. You come here to Compton, a very hitter-friendly ballpark. Gomez knew it. He got all of that pitch, and he was rewarded for it.
Beautiful pitch hit there from Gomez as he skies that one out to left. First hit, first run here for the game. Sam Shaken now digging in. Rough day for him. 3 strikeouts and an RBI single. Pops up the first pitch out to right field. Roosevelt's veering to his left and makes the catch for out number 2.
And Shaken swinging at that first pitch is a product to a conversation that he had with Dave Solis, I'm sure. Solis was upset with how many pitches the Oaks took yesterday, and Shaken was at the forefront of that conversation, I'm sure. He was down 0-2 in almost every at-bat yesterday. He swung at the first pitch. He hit it pretty hard. Wasn't rewarded this time.
And that brings up the big bat of Brandon Lewis. The last time the Oaks were here, they lost 9-8 against the Healdsburg Prune Packers to be knocked out of the semifinals of the playoffs to take the breaking pitch inside for strike 1. And the Oaks could have actually won that game. Brandon Lewis hit a monster fly ball out to left field. It hit off the top of the fence and came back into play. If that went over, the Oaks would have won. Though, another breaking pitch taken for strike 2, and a common motif here. A lot of strikes already taken early in this game, Jordan.
Brandon Lewis has to be itching for some hard contact. No home runs so far this year.
Foul tips off the 0-2, and we'll do it again.
I think that hit his front leg.
Oh, no, it hit him. I saw it go around. I'm glad you caught me on that. So a hit by pitch here with 2 away gives the Oaks a base runner. Brandon Lewis, batting average was .400 yesterday, but dropped after his rough day to .286. 4 hits and 17 at-bats, but now standing on first base after being hit. Now bring up Bailey Holbrook. Takes a couple practice swings. Here for deals, the first pitch. Cracked up the middle and into center field through the diving glove of Anderson for a single. The Oaks stringing together a couple of base runners. Now runners on first and second, 2 away, and they lead 1-0.
Bailey Holbrook's first hit as an Oak right there. He's been scuffling at the plate, and he needed that one. I saw him in batting practice today. He was looking the opposite way. That's the way you have to think when you're a slump, and he was rewarded there. A good inside-out swing. Some nice contact up the middle for a base hit.
And that's his first hit of the season. Michael Tillman now. Digging in, the first pitch of the Pierce Junior College product is taken for strike one. He led Pierce in batting average this past season, batting over 350, according to the stat we have. So far in the season, batting 273. 3 hits and 11 at-bats, but 13 total. He has walked twice. Here for deals, the 0-1. At the knees for strike two. A lot of breaking pitches taken for strikes here by the Oaks. And eventually that's going to catch up with them. Spencer Hereford toes the rubber and takes the sign from his catcher, Shanks. 2 away, 2 on as he steps off for time. Waiting on deck, Drew Sims. Should we get that far in the hole, Will Picketts. This is the 6th batter of the inning for Conejo. Tillman takes a couple of twirls with the bat, lifts it high over his shoulder, and here for deal is the 0-2. Breaking pitch skied into foul territory. Converging on it are Lewis and Shanks, and out of first base, Lewis will make the catch for out number 3. But not before the Oaks strike for 1 run on 2 hits, no errors. They leave 2 on base. We're through half an inning here from the MLB Urban Youth Academy in Compton. The Conejo Oaks lead 1-0, but the Barons will try to turn the tide here with their first offensive ups of the game. We'll be right back on the Oaks Broadcasting Network. Back here at the MLB Urban Youth Academy, he's Jordan Brenner. My name is Jonathan Rifkin, producer Sean McKinnon for today's game. Special thanks to Natalia Reynoso, the general manager for the Barons, for making sure that we were well accommodated here at the Urban Youth Academy. Oaks lead 1-0 over the Barons, but the Barons have yet to take their offensive ups. They'll have Trent Anderson and Josh Banuelos, the first 2 batters for them. In the 3rd spot is Logan Pollock out of Michigan. Joseph Argumedo is cleaning up from Lynn University. Behind him is Hunter Lewis from Indiana State. Andrew Wilson is in the 6th spot from Marymount, California. In the 7th spot out of Morehouse College is Roosevelt Barnes. Behind him, Cameron Dean. And Jacob Shanks from UC Riverside is in the 9th spot. For the Oaks, the field out in right is Tillman, Alexander at center, right and left. Brandon Lewis over at first, Ramon Gomez at second, Sam Shaken over at short. Will Pickett's over at third. Behind the dish is Drew Sims. And on the mound for his first start but 3rd overall appearance is Kevin Holcomb from Glendale City College. Trent Anderson digs in, and the first pitch to him is in. Taken for strike 1 on the inside corner. He had a good game yesterday out of the leadoff spot. Ended up going 1 for 3. Check that 0 for 3, but had 2 walks and a run scored. Look to capitalize here today. The 0-1 pitch. Big rip and a miss for strike 2. Holcomb deals, though, 2. Taken on the inside corner for strike 3. Kevin Holcomb deals his first strikeout of the game on the first batter he faces, and there's 1 out up on the board. It's interesting, sorry, Jordan, to see the strike zone here early. Yesterday it was the outside corner that was being called. So far here today, it's the inside corner that's being called.
Holcomb just gearing back and firing 3 heaters in there for strikes. He's feeling it early on with the heater.
That'll bring up Josh Banuelos from Peru State College in Nebraska. First pitch to him. Breaking pitch upstairs for ball 1. Top of the order is pretty much the same as yesterday's game. Banuelos in that game reached base 3 out of the 5 times he was up. Only had 1 hit, though. That was a double. He was hit by pitch and reached on the fielder's choice as well. The 1-0. Upstairs, ball 2. One run, 2 hits for the Oaks. No runs, no hits here for the Barons, but in the early wisps of this ball game, the 2-0. Raked in the left field, and that's going to drop for a single. Banuelos is able to get a quick one and reach first base with 1 out. The Barons now have a tying runner over on that corner, and will look to capitalize with Logan Pollock digging in. The lefty from Michigan in yesterday's game went 1 for 4, walked, singled, had a run scored, 2 strikeouts and a line out to his name. First pitch to him is skied foul, out of play, strike 1. Hope everybody's enjoying their Saturday morning, evening, or afternoon, depending on where you're joining us from. Of course, Vern Merrill, our former Oaks general manager, watches the games from Hawaii. We have a lot of parents watching on the East Coast. 0-1 pitch taken on the outside corner for strike 2. No matter where you're watching or how you're watching, we appreciate you making us a part of your Saturday activities.
John, are you a native of Hawaii?
I am not, I'm happy to say. Actually, I'm not happy to say. I love Hawaii.
I like how you say it, though.
Thank you. 0-2, runner goes. Cracked foul, though, on the half-hearted attempt, and we'll do it again. If I could watch baseball, the Corona in my hand from the beaches of Hawaii, I will know that I have made it in life. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 away, 1 on here for the Academy Barons. Third game of the season for them. They lost 13-3 in the opener on Wednesday against the Orange County Riptide and then beat the Oaks yesterday 5-2. The 0-2 pitch is skied to right field. Running to his right is Tillman, and he'll make the grab for out number 2. Staying put at first base is Josh Banuelos.
Holcomb got away with a hanging curveball there. Pollock was right on that pitch, but he just missed it. Fortunate for Holcomb, but as a pitcher, half of your success comes down to luck and missing. Just about missing in the right places.
Joseph Argumedo digs in here. The cleanup hitter from Lynn University swings and misses at the first pitch for strike 1. In yesterday's game, went 1 for 4. He had an RBI double play in the first, a single in the fourth, a ground out and a pop out in his next 2 trips. Wide stance in the batter's box. Holcomb checks that runner at first and deals the 0-1. Low and away for ball 1. 1-1 the count here. 2 away. Oaks lead 1-0 in the early part of this ball game. Game number 2 of a 3-game series in which the Barons lead 1-0 so far. The Oaks in their baby blues today with white letters on the front, navy blue letters on the, or numbers I should say, on the back. 1-1. Cracked up the middle and into center field for a single. A 2-out single here for Argumedo puts runners on first and second, and the Barons keep the inning alive here. Just because you're a cleanup hitter doesn't necessarily mean you always have to hit for power. In a situation like this, getting a bat on the ball and getting on via small ball is just as an acceptable option as trying to hit a bomb. I'll bring up Hunter Lewis from Indiana State. Sycamore steps in here into the right-handed batter's box. Holcomb toes the rubber, checks the runner at second, peers and fires the first pitch. Called strike at the knees. 0-1 the count. Not a big turnout here at the Urban Youth Academy in Compton. Though there is a softball game going on over to our right shoulder on the field behind us. The 0-1 in the dirt, ball one. 1-1 the count. The Barons are in their blue uniforms, white numbers on the back, red letters in the front. 1 ball, 1 strike, Holcomb deals. Taken for strike 2. We'll be back here tomorrow, same time, 1 o'clock, 12:45 pregame. And the Barons will be back in Thousand Oaks at the end of next week for the 4th stint in as many days. The 1-2 is in the dirt. Good block by Sims, but the runners will go. The throw is not in time. And that'll allow Banuelos to reach third. Also moving on the plate from first to second was Argumedo. And that's ball 2. Call it a wild pitch. 2s across the board now. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away, and 2 on for the Barons. Tying run 90 feet away. Lewis takes a couple of practice swings, waves that bat high over his right shoulder. Holcomb toes the rubber and fires in the 2-2. Curveball with not enough break, runs upstairs, full count now.
Holcomb's release point on that curveball is still a little bit shaky early on. Releasing it a little bit early, and that's why you're seeing a bunch of hanging curveballs.
The righty takes a breath on the mound. Payoff pitch. Speared into shallow left field. Out of short is shaken, but he'll veer out of the way and make way for Wright, who makes the catch for out number 3. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 left on base. We're through 1 full here from the MLB Urban Youth Academy. The Oaks lead 1-0. 7, 8, and 9 hitters due up for them in the top of the second. You're watching Oaks versus Barons right here on the Oaks Broadcasting Network. Top of the second inning. Welcome back, everybody. Jordan Brenner, myself, Jonathan Rifkin. Special thanks to Sean McKinnon, our producer. Oaks lead 1-0. Bottoms 3 due up. Drew Sims, Will Pickett, and Tanner Wright. The Barons left 2 on base in scoring position. They had an opportunity to tie up the game with 2 away, but couldn't get the job done. Plenty of ball game left, though. Drew Sims steps in as the first pitch from Hereford is taken for strike 1. The Oaks have taken every first pitch strike so far today. That's 7 for 7 in first pitch strikes for Spencer Hereford. The 0-1 pitch to the UVU product is taken low and away for ball 1, 1-1 the count. 1-1 pitch hits the dirt, 2-1 the count. Drew Sims yesterday came in as a pinch hitter in the 9th inning for Zach Kamenkaw and struck out. It was the second strikeout of the 9th inning. The 2-1. Runs inside, 3-1 the count. UVU Wolverine has done a phenomenal job for that school, trying to take his talents here to the Oaks. It's a 3-1 pitch comes in and called strike on the inside corner. Sims thought he had a walk. But that inside part of the plate has been called consistently, all day long, and that brings a full count. Second full count of the game for the Barons. Hereford toes the rubber and deals the payoff pitch. That one is sliced in the left field and will drop for a single. Drew Sims is on for a leadoff single, and the Oaks are picking up where they left off in the first inning and doing what they couldn't do yesterday, which is muster hits early in the inning. Most of their hits, not most of it, some of their hits came with 2 outs in those innings, but they only put up 5 hits overall in the game. That brings up Will Pickett's now. In his only at-bat of the season, he struck out. That was the final out of yesterday's game against the Barons. The returner for the Oaks batted over .280 with the team. So the first pitch to him is taken outside for ball 1. Played his college ball at Pierce Junior College, but headed to Cal State Bakersfield in the fall. His father is the head coach at Pierce College, Bill Pickett's. And I'm sure as much as his father loved coaching him, he's very happy that his son is moving on to Bakersfield. The 1-0 in the dirt. Good stop, though, by Shanks, and that'll keep the runner at first base. 2 balls and no strikes. Last year, played mostly second base for the Oaks. In today's game, he's playing third base. Multifaceted fielder here. So he steps back into the right-handed batter's box on the 2-0 pitch. Slapped foul down the third base line, and we'll do it again, though this time 2 balls and 1 strike. 1 run, 3 hits, and no errors for the Oaks. No runs, 2 hits, no errors for the Barons. Pickett sporting the red Pierce Junior College helmet, or I should say black with red stripes. Pickoff attempt. Sim slides back without harm. The Barons in their first 8 games of the season play the Oaks and the Riptide and nobody else. So they will be seeing a lot of this team here down the first part of the season. The 2-1, big cut and a miss for strike 2, 2-2 the count. Wind now shifting out from left field, blowing now towards more left center, which will benefit batters who hit towards that batter's eye out in center field. And this is actually where I saw one of the highest home runs of the Cananea Oaks history. Max Weinstein 2 years ago hit a shot off the upper part of that batter's eye in center. The 2-2. Grounded over to third. Fielding it is Pollock, and he fires it over to second for 1. The relay is not in time, and that'll be a fielder's choice. 5-4. Reaching first safely as Will Pickett's heading back to the bench as Drew Sims. One away now. Runner on first and a productive out in the field for the Barons. That'll bring up the number 9 hitter, Tanner Wright. Right out of Cal Lutheran, the only Division III player in the Oaks lineup right now. Everybody else is Division I player or a JC player going to a Division I school. The 0-0 is taken for strike 1, and now we have a pickle out there. But a high throw as Pickett slides back safely into first base. Shanks tried to get him at second. Anderson was able to jump to make the throw. But Pickett was able to get back to first safely. 0-1 the count to Wright. In yesterday's game, he went 0 for 4 in the leadoff spot, but that was coming off of a wonderful 3-for-3 performance where he reached base all 5 times he got up back on Wednesday. The 0-1 pitch glides outside the zone, 1-1 the count. Pickoff attempt. Pickett gets back safely. Had a couple stolen bases last season for the Oaks, but I wouldn't necessarily call him a threat, though the hit and run has been a prevalent sign here for the Oaks, especially with 1 away in a double play situation. Here for Deals. Taken low, 1-2 the count. 2-1 the count. The scoreboard says 1-2, but the count is actually 2 balls and 1 strike. Runner goes, 2-1 pitch is slapped over to third. Fielding is Pollock. He won't make the play over to second, instead firing it over to first in time for out number 2, but a productive hit and run there for the Oaks. They get a runner in scoring position now. 5-3 put out, puts Pickett's over at second base. 1 run, 3 hits for the Oaks. No runs, 2 hits for the Barons here in the top of the second inning. Now bring up Elijah Alexander back at the top of the order. He grounded out to second his first time up. Hereford takes the sign from his catcher, Shanks, toes the rubber, checks the runner at second, and deals. Slapped over to left field. Dean takes a step back, but a couple of steps forward now and makes the catch for out number 3. No runs, a hit, no errors. 1 left on base. We're through 1.5 from the MLB Urban Youth Academy. The Oaks lead 2-1. We'll be right back on the Oaks Broadcasting Network. Bottom of the second here at the MLB Urban Youth Academy. Andrew Wilson, Roosevelt Barnes, and Cameron Dean, the 3 due up here in the inning. 1-0 Oaks lead. Welcome back, everybody. Jordan Brenner, myself, Jonathan Rifkind, Sean McKinnon, our producer on the day. The first pitch to Wilson is slapped foul for strike 1. Andrew Wilson in yesterday's game in the 5th spot went 0 for 4, but he reached on a fielder's choice in the 4th and also scored thereafter. Kevin Holcomb, in his second inning of work, has given up 2 hits and a strikeout so far in today's game. The Marymount, California product digs back in the right-handed batter's box as the 0-1 pitch is dealt. 2-hopper over to second. Gomez deals it over to first in time for out number 1. 4-3 put out for you here. Starts off the bottom of the second. And that'll bring up Roosevelt Barnes from Morehouse College.
Holcomb's done a good job keeping the ball down in the zone for the most part, especially with his fastball. He's hung a few curveballs, gotten away with them. And that's because he's located the fastball so well.
0-0 pitch. Bunt shown. Pulled back. Ball 1. From Morehouse College, as I mentioned in yesterday's game, in the 8th spot, went 0 for 3 but walked and reached on an error. The 1-0 pitch from Holcomb glides on the outside part of the zone, 1-1 the count. Good slider there from Holcomb. Hooks up a couple of Glendale City College products. Joe Torres, who's actually at UC Davis, will be joining the team here in a couple of days. The 1-1 pitch paints the knees for strike 2. He went to Glendale City College for a couple of years. A very good feeder school into the UC system for baseball. Holcomb toes the rubber, takes the sign, fires in the 1-2. Big slider, waved and a miss for strike 3. Barnes is down on strikes. The second strikeout of the game for Holcomb. And that puts out number 2 up on the board here for the Oaks.
Holcomb finally with his off-speed pitch, not hung upstairs. He got the release point down. Still a little bit up in the zone, but at least thrown for a strike. And you could just see that wiffle ball action from Holcomb. He doesn't have to get it down in the zone when it moves that much. Really great pitch.
Cameron Dean now digging in. First pitch to him. Low for ball 1. in his first at-bat in a Barons uniform. Jacob Shakes waiting on deck behind him. Should we get that far in the inning? Oaks lead 1-0 here, 2 away. Bottom of the second, 1-0. Becomes 1-1 on that strike on the outside corner. First Oaks away game of the season. And they were able to strike early. The 1-1 skied out of play, 1-2 the count. That run came by way of the Raymond Gomez solo home run out to left field. Hit off the scoreboard. Right over a tribute to some of the greats who played here at the MLB Urban Youth Academy. We'll get into those here in just a moment. Unless this inning ends, then on the other side of the break, the 1-2. Misses away, 2-2 the count. Out there in left, you would see the names of Chris Davis, Anthony Gose, Aaron Hicks, Efren Hayward, Trace Thompson, Jonathan Singleton, and Vincent Velasquez. The 2-2 over to short. Shaken fires it over to first for out number 3. The Barons go down in short order. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left on base. We're through 2 full here from Compton, California. The Oaks lead 1-0. We'll be right back on the Oaks Broadcasting Network. Back here at the MLB Urban Youth Academy in beautiful Compton, California. Reached 91 degrees today, the hottest game time temperature that we have had so far this season. Most of the games that the Oaks have played were in the high 70s, low 80s at game time and would drop down to the 60s. Oaks have the 2, 3, and 4 hitters due up as the first pitch into Raymond Gomez is taken for ball 1. Spencer Hereford is back on the mound for his 3rd inning of work. So far, 1 run given up on 3 hits. No strikeouts, no walks. The 1-0. Paints the outside corner for strike 1. 1-1 the count. And of course, Raymond Gomez back in the first inning. Hit that shoulder shot over the left field wall to give the Oaks their only run of the ball game. Hereford deals the 1-1. Slapped over to third. Beautiful diving stop from Pollock. He fires it across the diamond. Oh, what a play! Logan Pollock displays the athleticism, sliding to a stop deep on the left side of the field, firing across his body, and getting Gomez out by a step. 1 out now.
Could that be the best defensive play we've seen on the broadcast this year? It's got to be close.
I think it takes the cake so far. A beautiful stop by Pollock. Sam Shaken, though, will try to ruin it here. He's 0 for 1 on the day with a fly out to right. After a rough 1 for 4 day yesterday in which he struck out 3 times. The first pitch to him drops low for ball 1. 1 run, 3 hits for the Oaks. No runs, 2 hits for the Barons. No errors on either side. The Valparaiso righty digs back in. The 1-0 pitch. Lined foul. We'll do it again. This time 1 ball, 1 strike is the count.
Shaken plays a really important part in this lineup. If he's going, I feel like the Oaks have a really good chance of producing a lot of runs. Needs to get on in front of Brandon Lewis.
Shaken shoulders the bat. Here for deals. Dropping low, but called a strike. And that's interesting because that was the same location as the first pitch that was called a ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. A little inconsistency here, but nonetheless, Hereford is ahead in the count, looking to capitalize here. 1-2 pitch. Called strike 3 on the outside corner. First strikeout of the game for the Cal State Dominguez Hills product. That puts out number 2 up on the board. Sam Shaken now has 4 strikeouts in his last 6 at-bats. Not common for a guy who batted over 300 with the Oaks last season and over 280 with the Valparaiso Crusaders over the season. Brandon Lewis now digging in. First pitch to him glides over the heart of the plate for strike 1, and that is exactly what you would call a frisbee pitch right there, Brenner. Hittable, but taken for strike 1. 0-1 the count. Pitch comes in, skied out into foul territory, but out of play. That puts Hereford ahead in the count now, no balls and 2 strikes. Lewis was hit by a pitch back in the first, but was stranded on second thereafter. Bailey Holbrook, who's 1 for 1 on the day, waiting on deck. Should we get that far in the inning? Spencer Lewis headed to UC Irvine in the fall after 2 amazing seasons for Pierce. 0-2. Misses outside, 1-2 the count. And for Lewis, led the CCL in home runs last season. Hit a grand slam to bring the Oaks back in the semifinals last year back here at MLB Urban Youth Academy. Swings and misses at a slider for strike number 3. The Oaks go down in short order for the first time all game. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. 2 quick innings are over now here at the MLB Urban Youth Academy. Top of the third when we come back. The Oaks lead 2-1. Bottom 3 here from the MLB Urban Youth Academy. Oaks lead 1-0. Welcome back, everybody. The Barons looking to generate some offense here with the 9-1-2 hitters due up. Jacob Shanks, the first of those 3 from UC Riverside. Kevin Holcomb back on the mound for the Oaks. Deals the first pitch, fouled back for strike 1. Shanks catching in today's game, one of the 2 new faces that we've seen in the lineup yesterday. Catcher in the game was Joseph Argumedo. He's DHing in the lineup today for the Barons. The 0-1. Big slider. Swung and a missed for strike 2. Holcomb so far in today's game has given up 2 hits and has 2 strikeouts. But no runs given up so far. Toes the rubber and deals, though, too. Half-hearted swing is fouled out of play off the inside part of the bat, and we'll do it again. No balls, 2 strikes. The Oaks are still short-staffed, waiting for some of the SEC products who are playing in regionals or super regionals to rejoin the team. The 0-2 pitch, hit up the middle and into center field for a single. Jacob Shanks out of the 9 spot is able to get on after being down 0-2 in the count, and the Barons have a leadoff man on with nobody away here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. They now match the Oaks total for hits with 3. The difference, though, is that runner, or that run, I should say, which was the solo shot by Raymond Gomez. Back to the top of the order now for Trent Anderson. Struck out looking back in the 1st. We'll look to chance his fortunes here with a runner on and nobody away. The first pitch to him shows bunt pulled back pick attempt. Not in time. And Shanks, good heads up over there at first, dives back before the glove of Lewis tagged him. Drew Sims has an arm. He has thrown out 3 batters so far, or runners, I should say, in this season on 4 attempts. The 0-1 upstairs, ball 1. Two balls, no strikes. Pitcher deals, runner goes. Pitch is taken for strike. The throw is not in time. And that was a great steal by Shanks. He got the jump. And even on a fastball called a strike, he was able to get under the tag of Shaken. Now the Barons have the tying run in scoring position.
What a commodity it is to have a catcher with so much speed. Oftentimes you see a catcher hit a ground ball. It's an automatic out. They're not even halfway to first base by the time they get thrown out. Not the case with Shanks.
2-1 pitch is taken at the knees. Evens the count now, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Good placement there by Kevin Holcomb. Holcomb toes the rubber, checks the runner at second, and steps off as Shakes run back to second base. Wind now shifting out towards center. It started out at game time blowing to left, then out to left center, now flowing steadily out to center field. The 2-2 cracked over to first. Diving forward is Lewis, over to the pitcher, and they're going to call him out. Great play at first base by Lewis as the throw over to third is not in time. Shanks dives back easily, but a productive out nonetheless because the Barons now with 1 away have the tying run 90 feet away. A hard ground ball in the infield or a pop-up deep into the outfield should score him and tie up this game.
That was a good play by Holcomb to get over to first. The last thing you want to do is give up a base runner there.
And Brandon Lewis, normally a third baseman or right fielder, showed off the athleticism with the diving stop. And they were able to beat Anderson out by a step. Josh Banuelos now digs in. He's singled back in the first. First pitch to him. Ripped up the middle and into center field. That'll score Shanks, and the Barons tie up the game on the RBI single by Joshua Banuelos. He is 2 for 2 and a great hitter out of the 2 spot. Holcomb left that pitch right over the heart of the plate. And as a first pitch strike, Banuelos took advantage.
I was about to say, he's been locating his fastball so well, that one got away from him. Chest high, and when you're facing a guy like Banuelos, he's not going to miss that.
1 run, 4 hits now for the Barons. 1 run, 3 hits for the Oaks. Logan Pollock digs in. First pitch to him. Ripped on and missed for strike 1. He flew out to right his first time up. The Michigan Wolverine. Stepping back into the left-handed batter's box. Taps that plate. Takes a couple practice swing as Holcomb sets on the mound. Deals the 0-1. Runner goes, but foul tipped back against the screen. Strike 2. And that'll cause Banuelos to have to make the trek back to first base. First of 3 trips the Oaks will make here to the MLB Urban Youth Academy. One more tomorrow and then another spot in July. Holcomb comes set, fires the 0-2. In the shallow right field, that's going to drop for a base hit. Back-to-back singles here for the Barons, and they are rolling now with runners on first and second and 1 away. Pollock now 1 for 2, the 3rd hit of the inning. And you can bet that if the Oaks give up one more, head coach David Solis will have a conversation on the mound with Kevin Holcomb. Runners on now. Number 4 hitter Joseph Argumedo digs in. First pitch to him. Grounder over to short. Shaken over to second for 1. The relay is not in time. A fielder's choice 6-4 puts runners at the corners now with 2 away, and the Barons have the go-ahead run 90 feet away from home plate. Jordan, do you think that's a productive out with 1 away now that there's 2 away? Or do you think that because it is a fielder's choice, even though there's a runner on third, that gives the Oaks a little bit more room to breathe?
I think because Holcomb has been relatively accurate, he hasn't thrown any wayward balls, I think it's not a productive out. You're going to need a hit to score off of Holcomb, and thus the runner at third does not matter.
That brings up Hunter Lewis. Now he's 0 for 1. Flew out to left his first time up. Skies one into right center field. Running over to it is Elijah Alexander, and he makes the snag for out number 3. Nonetheless, though, the Barons tie it up. 1 run, 3 hits, no errors. They leave 2 on base. We're through 3 full here from the MLB Urban Youth Academy, all knotted up at 1. We'll be right back for the top of the 4th right after this on the Oaks Broadcasting Network. Top 4 here, Oaks and the Barons knotted up at 1. My name is Jonathan Rifkin for the play-by-play of the 3rd, 4th, and 5th inning. My broadcasting partner, Jordan Brenner.
Thank you, Jonathan. Bailey Holbrook steps in to lead off the top of the 4th. He's 1 for 1. Takes off speed in there for strike 1. Holbrook, on the early season, has been successful on the mound. He's been scuffling a bit at the plate, but he is 1 for 1 today. Off speed again, Holbrook to the right side on the ground. The throw over to first gets him in time. Trent Anderson over to Hunter Lewis. 1 away in the inning. Next up will be Michael Tillman, the right fielder. A fly out to first base in his first at-bat. From Cal State, Los Angeles. Tillman awaits the first pitch. Fastball, he was swinging. Lined right side and out of play. 0-1. Tillman batting .273 on the year. A double, 2 base hits. 2 RBIs. Second pitch is in there, called strike 2.
Nice moving action on that slider from Hereford. And that's had the Oaks strung up all game long.
0-2 now to Tillman. The pitch swung on and fouled off. Keeps fighting. Little tapper to the left side, 0-2. Hereford already ready on the mound. The 0-2 pitch. Another heater, this time high, 1-2. Trying to keep the Oaks hitters off balance, and he's been successful so far, except for the one hanging pitch to Gomez that was taken out deep to left field. 1-2 inside on the fastball, just about hits him, but taken for ball 2. 1 run, 3 hits for the Oaks, no errors. 1 run on 5 hits, no errors for the Barons. Hereford sets at the belt, kicks and fires. Off speed in the dirt, good take from Tillman, 3-2. Beautiful sunny day here in Compton. Wind blown out to right field.
It has shifted from left to right over the first 4 innings of this game.
3-2 pitch taken at the knees, a good take from Tillman, and he walks over to first base on a walk. Hereford not going to be happy with that performance. Had Tillman up in the count.
And you know what the biggest difference yesterday of the first 4 games for the Oaks was? Is that besides the 16 strikeouts, they didn't walk once. This is their first walk of the series.
Great point there. Drew Sims steps in for a second at bat. Takes a fastball on the outside corner. A questionable call. 0-1. Sims, a base hit to left field his first at bat. The product of Utah Valley. Waits the 0-1 pitch. Runner goes. The pitch is in the dirt. The throw over to second base bounces into center field. And Michael Tillman gets over to second base on a stolen base.
The throw was in time by Shanks. He actually popped up very quickly, but unfortunately the short hop couldn't find the glove of Anderson and went over his head into center field. That is a break right there for the Oaks.
Drew Sims now an RBI opportunity. 1-1. Off speed low, but at the knees, 1-2. Drew Sims hitting .333 on the young season, a double, a base hit. Those numbers are from before the game, so the .333 average is actually higher. 1-2 pitch to Sims. Holcomb kicks and fires. Off speed, lifted shallow in the infield. Hunter Lewis drops the ball at first base. Tillman remains at second, but Drew Sims gets the first base on the air. You don't see that a lot at any level of baseball, especially here in summer collegiate ball.
Yeah, the Indiana State product may have lost it in the sun. It actually beams out from above the press box where it's situated onto the field. It makes it about 3 or 4 degrees hotter. And on top of that, it can make it very hard for fielders to see it. We've seen right fielders here drop balls in the same way that Hunter Lewis out of first base just dropped that one. I don't necessarily think that was mostly his fault, but still, you have to learn how to compensate for the sun.
The Oaks catch a break. Now 2 on, 1 out. For Will Pickett's at third. Reached first base on a fielder's choice. Back in the second inning. Pickett still yet to get his first knock as an Oak. What a time it would be right now to get his first. First pitch to him. Fastball line backing out of play. 1-0. 0-1, excuse me. Pickett's from Cal State Bakersfield. The third baseman. Wears lucky 13 if you're a member of the Jewish community. For everybody else, it's considered an unlucky number. 0-1 to Pickett's. Off speed low. That's called a ball, 1-1. One and out, 2 on. Over at first base is Sims, reached on the air. Tillman at second, walked and stole second base. 1-1 offering. Inside in the dirt, good block by Shinks behind the plate. 2-1. Crowd filling in here at MLB Urban Youth Academy. 2-1 to Pickett's. Pitch is fouled back on the ground to the screen, 2-2. Hereford struggled with the out pitch. He was up in the count to Tillman and then walked him. Not a good sign. Got to work on that secondary stuff. 2-2 to Pickett's, 2 on. Bottom of the third inning in a 1-1 ball game. Chopper left side, but foul. 2-2 again. Pickett's may have been reaching at a ball there. Thought it was close and fought it off. Pickett's digs in for the 2-2 offering. Hereford checks the runner, kicks and fires. Off speed, lifted to left field. Pretty good wood on it, but foul.
And for the Barons, Kyle Sally, who DH'd in yesterday's game and had an RBI single, begins to warm up in the pen for them.
Nice, long, competitive at-bat for Pickett's, which can't be said for the Oaks yesterday.
By the way, for the Oaks, they have Jerry Ramirez warming up in their bullpen.
2-2 again to Pickett's. Just a bit outside, 3-2. And whatever happens to Pickett's in this at-bat, I'm fairly confident in saying this is a pretty good at-bat.
You're working in the count, you're tiring the opposing pitcher, but with one away, the name of the game isn't patience, especially in a tie ball game. The name of the game is to put that barrel of the bat on the ball.
Payoff pitch from Hereford, on its way, lifted out to center field. Medium deep, and it's lost in center field, and that's going to drop for a hit. Rounding second, going to third, and coming around to score is Michael Tillman, and the Oaks take a 2-1 lead. Andrew Wilson lost the ball in center field, the second in the inning that's been lost by these Barons.
And that will be ruled a double. Because of the step forwards, Wilson lost it. There was no contact made with the player, and it was hit behind him. Therefore, well, Pickett is on with his first hit of the season, an RBI double, and giving the Oaks the lead. It's hard out there with the sun.
And that's got to be quite discouraging for Hereford on the mound.
Coach Leandro calls time, and he wants to have a conversation with his pitcher. It's just hard because, if you remember, Drew Sims reached on an error, so there should have been 2 outs going to that play, and if Wilson didn't lose that ball, it would have been out number 3. But again, that's a hit. That run is earned. If Drew Sims comes in and scores, that run will be unearned.
Yeah, and I think this is a good pitching visit for the Barons. Oftentimes with young pitchers, they're a little bit thrown when the defense is not making plays behind them. Pitchers will talk all the time about how their defense behind them, when they're making plays, it's a big confidence boost. So now runners on second and third for the Oaks. Tanner Wright up to bat. Only 1 out in the inning. Wright, a ground out victim back in the second inning. Swings at the first pitch and taps it foul behind home plate, 0-1.
You know what would be an interesting strategy, and I don't think head coach Slees is going to do it because he's more of a conservative coach when it comes to situations like this. Wright has some speed. Why not suicide squeeze or sacrifice squeeze? Try to get that runner in from third by way of a bunt.
Next pitch, a slow ground over to Anderson at first. He's going to take the out at first, but scoring from third base is Sims. And the Oaks tack on another.
Or do that and get the RBI ground out, a productive out nonetheless. Remember, that run is unearned because Drew Sims got on by way of an error. Tanner Wright gets the job done for the Oaks, and they take a 2-1 lead. And we've learned, though, 2-run leads aren't safe, especially in the CCL. Every team has the ability to explode.
Pickett's over to third on that play, but there's a high fly ball to right center field, way back over to the track, and out of here for a home run. Elijah Alexander, a big fly over the wall in right center field for his first home run as an Oak. And a slow trot around third base. He's enjoying that one. And now a 5-1 Oaks lead.
He knew that was gone. The entire Oaks bench knew that was gone. They all got up to their feet. And Elijah Alexander, welcome to the CCL. He led the University of Texas Rio Grande Valley in home runs. We've seen him do it in practice and finally gets one over here in the season.
First pitch is a curveball taken upstairs by Raymond Gomez. He also homered in this game. This is the Oaks' second 2-home run game of the season. 1-0 pitch is taken on the edge. Called a strike. 1-1. And for Spencer Hereford, got to be discouraging with the lack of defense behind him. 1-1 pitch is fouled out of play to the right side, 1-2.
In hindsight, of course, you can think that, well, a couple of those runs may have not come in if all the correct plays were made, but you can't really doubt the fielders. It's kind of the situation that they're brought in with that sun beaming overhead.
Taken at the knees, called strike 3, but not before 4 runs on 2 hits and error. Nobody left on base for the Oaks. They take a 5-1 lead here in the top of the 4th. We'll be back shortly at MLB Urban Youth Academy. You're listening to Oaks Baseball on the Oaks Baseball Network. The Oaks, an offensive explosion in the top half of the inning, a 4-run inning headlined by Elijah Alexander's first home run of the season, first home run as an Oak. Holcomb back to the mound for his 4th inning of work. Andrew Wilson steps in. First pitch, a heater in there for a strike, 0-1. Holcomb, maybe not his sharpest off speed, but the fastball has been on point today, with the exception of a few that he left upstairs. 0-1 pitch in the dirt, 1-0, 1-1. Wilson grounded out over to second base, back in the 2nd inning. Now in for his 2nd at bat. 1-1 taken just a bit upstairs at the chest. 2-1. 5 runs on 5 hits for the Oaks. 1 run on 5 hits for the Barons. Wilson waiting for the 2-1 pitch. Off speed taken just a bit off the plate, 3-1. A good take from Andrew Wilson.
It's a hard take. When you see that slider coming in on the hands, you wonder if there's enough break as a batter for it to hit the strike zone. But right there, Wilson, his patience paid dividends.
Holcomb sets and fires the 3-1 pitch. Misses upstairs for a walk to lead off the inning.
And only his first walk of the game given up. Not too bad, especially because the Oaks yesterday gave up a total of 5 walks. Free base runners has been an Achilles heel for the Oaks pitching all season long, especially hit batters. But right here, only the first walk coming in the 4th inning.
Roosevelt Barnes digs in, struck out back in the 2nd. Takes a fastball low and away. 1-0. Barnes in yesterday's game reached base twice. Neither of those on-base appearances came from a hit, a walk, and an error. 1-0 pitch. In the dirt again. Throw over to first is not in time.
Sims is very quick, and we're waiting for the day when he'll finally get that out over at first on the back pick. But overall, some very good heads-up base running over there on first base by Wilson.
Quick meeting on the mound between Holcomb, Drew Sims, and Coach David Solis.
And it looks like, I know Jerry Ramirez is standing by in the bullpen, but it does not like they're going to pull him. In a double play situation, an opportunity to try and let Holcomb play out the inning.
Maybe buying some time.
I think that's another strategy. If Holcomb finishes out this inning, he will tie David Appleby, who went yesterday for 4 innings, for the most innings pitched by an Oaks pitcher in a single game so far in the season.
2-0 to Barnes. Taken low and inside, 3-0. Barnes from Morehouse College. (3-0). I'd be surprised if he takes a hack here. Inside, taken for ball 4. And Holcomb has walked 2 consecutive hitters.
And that is good patience by the Barons. Couple of first pitch strikes and then a lot of patience, allowing 2 runners on base. And that's how you rally, not necessarily stringing together hits, which is only one way to rally, showing the patience, allowing the pitcher to throw some balls, walk over to first, and then allow some of your better hitters, Cameron Dean here and then Jacob Shanks, who had to hit back on the 3rd, try and drive him in.
Dean steps in, takes a first pitch at the knees, called a strike, 0-1. Grounded out to shortstop back in the 2nd inning. Off of second base, Andrew Wilson. He walked. Barnes at first, he also walked. 0-1 offering from Holcomb. Taken just a bit inside, 1-1. Holcomb takes a deep breath. The 1-1 offering on its way. Lifted out of play to the right side, 1-2. Holcomb, this past year, was a freshman at Glendale City College. 4-1 in 6 games started, 15 appearances, 4.62 ERA. Holcomb sets and offers. Runners go. An off-speed pitch upstairs and no throw from Sims. That's going to be a double steal to get 2 runners in scoring position. And a 2-2 count now to Cameron Dean. Two and 2 pitch from Holcomb. Lifted out to left center field. Alexander rotates over, makes the play. Coming in to score is Andrew Wilson, and going back to second, Roosevelt Barnes. And the Barons get one back. 5-2 game now. A good sacrifice fly by Cameron Dean there.
That hurts if you're the Oaks, because no hits given up in the inning, but 2 walks, and that's a free run you basically gave to the Barons. That won't cut it, especially with a narrow 3-run lead. The Barons can keep capitalizing here.
They got him on, they got him over, and now they got him in. First pitch in to Shanks, taken low, 1-0. Shanks, a base hit to center field back in the third. He came around to score. Also stole second. 1-0 pitch. Runner goes again. Sims pops up and hits the batter in the shoulder on the throw to third. Both players are in pain. So Lee's coming out to check on his player.
And that hurts.
That's a dangerous play
and
there.
They're going to make the runner go back to second because that technically is a batter's interference, even though both players, unfortunately, got the wrong end of the stick. Because of the batter's interference, that stolen base will be null and void. But, wow, you hate to see this. Both players in a lot of pain. When you're popping up and you're throwing as hard as you can, you're coming with full force. And, unfortunately, Jakes is down, and that is not something you like to see. We won't speculate, obviously, what may be hurting because that's not our job. But all we can do is give them our thoughts and prayers and hope for the best.
Shanks is grabbing his right arm. I'd be surprised if he comes back in. And still on the floor is Jacob Shanks, and obviously we're thinking of him, hoping he can feel better as soon as possible.
The umpires were having a conversation, and Solis went over to start talking to them, and they said, no, don't come talk to us yet. We're having a private conversation. I think what they're talking about is what to do with the base runner, because, again, batter's interference automatically calls the play dead. So even though the runner reached third safely because the batter got in the way, that should technically be ruled a dead ball, and there should not be a play over at third. Sims went back to the dugout for a second, but now he's back out there. Actually, no, that's not six. That is a new catcher's Bryce Vitt.
Yeah, Bryce Vitt's going to come into the game. Zach Kamenkop played yesterday. The Oaks, obviously, you feel for Drew Sims behind the plate, but catcher position of depth for the Oaks.
And how about Jacob Shanks, the catcher for the Barons in today's game? He is still hurting. So catcher-to-catcher contact has both players hurt. Now that Drew Sims is out, he will not be allowed to re-enter the game as Bryce Vitt takes his place. And Jacob Shanks sporting number 12, now getting up for the first time in about 2 minutes.
Bryce Vitt will hit in the 7th spot for the Oaks.
And now they will give the runner third base. After a conversation, head coach Solis is trying to get an explanation as to why that wasn't ruled a dead ball. Again, batter's interference, more often than not, is ruled a dead ball, meaning that the play is over. But they might have said because the runner, in the form of Roosevelt Barnes, was at the point of no return, which means that before the throw even came, he was midway down the base path. He would have been safe regardless, which means they're going to award him third base. And I think that was the conversation with Coach Solis. As he shakes his head, there's nothing he can do about it, and there's a runner 90 feet away from scoring position. And there's still a conversation at the plate with Jacob Shanks and the coaching staff here for the Barons.
And that's a significant call by the umpires because still only one out in the inning. Now, Barnes at third base can score on a fly ball or a ground ball. Shanks still stretching out. He's going to try and stay in the game, I think. He was down for a while. So award the stolen base to Roosevelt Barnes. He walked, advanced over to second base, and now steals third.
And it looks like the Barons trainer is going to go into the Oaks dugout and have a look at Drew Sims as well.
I wonder if Bryce Vitt gets any warm-up pitches. It doesn't look like it. Looks like we're just going to get right back to baseball.
And it's nice to see that Jacob Shanks was able to take enough time to get up, shake himself off, and stay in the batter's box. You never want to see a player have to go out due to injury. And it's a warm feeling to see him get back up after being down for about 2 minutes and take a couple of practice swings.
So here's the situation. Barnes over at third base with an out in the inning. 1-1 count. Jacob Shanks steps right back into the box like a warrior. See if he can put across another run for the Barons in this inning.
And you know now he's more motivated than ever to drive in that run.
Taken for a strike, 1 and 2. Holcomb sets at the belt. Kicks and offers. Off speed, lined up the middle for a base hit. Barnes will score from third, and how about that for Jacob Shanks, his second base hit of the day, the first RBI.
And I was thinking in my head, it's only fitting that he gets an RBI single, or at least a hit, to drive in that run, and that's exactly what he did. He brings the Barons now in striking distance. Sometimes when you get hurt, all you think about is, how do I come back? You don't think about the rest of the game and get in your own head, and that's exactly what Jacob Shanks did right there.
Top of the order for the Barons, Trent Anderson steps in. Takes a fastball on the outside corner for a called strike. So Shanks, 2 for 2, 2 base hits to center field. He has a stolen base, a run scored, and now an RBI. He takes a big lead off of first. Off-speed pitch into Anderson, lifted out of play to the left side. 0-2. Anderson down 0-2 in the count. Ground out victim back to the pitcher in the third inning. Struck out swinging in the first. Holcomb, a quick pitch, a fastball thrown right by Anderson for a strikeout on 3 pitches. His second of the day. The third for Holcomb. Second for Anderson. And now Joshua Banuelos, the dangerous 2-hole hitter, the shortstop, and Solis is going to go have a conversation with Holcomb.
And that will be the end of the day. No, he's telling him to calm down and try to make the last out. So, no, he is taking the ball. So, Jerry Ramirez will likely come in here. And overall, I wouldn't say it was a bad start for Holcomb. He did give up, of course, those runs, but
he's given up 2 runs in the inning on only 1 hit.
But that second inning where he forced the Barons to go 1, 2, 3 and really showed his stuff was probably the inning that solidified a pretty decent start for him here today.
We're going to go to break while Ramirez warms up. 5-3 in favor of the Oaks. With a runner on first base, that's Jacob Shanks. We'll be right back on the Oaks Broadcasting Network. Joshua Banuelos stepping in for his third plate appearance. He's 2 for 2 with 2 base hits. The new pitcher is Jerry Ramirez for the Oaks, number 28, also out of Glendale City College. So from one teammate to the next. Runner on first base, that's Jacob Shanks. He had a base hit to center field, the RBI hit. Break. And now Banuelos digs in, Ramirez, and fires. Curveball in at the knees, a beautiful pitch, 0-1.
That curveball has been his go-to here so far in the season, and has been hitting. A lot of batters have trouble committing to that pitch because it has so much break, and right there you see why.
Ramirez sets and offers a fastball into right field for a hit. Rounding second, going to third is Shanks. And rounding first, going to second, Banuelos. He's in for a double. And the Barons are rock and rolling here in the bottom of the fourth inning.
They have to be careful, though, because with great power comes great responsibility. Right now, even though they're down, though, you can tell that the momentum has shifted in the favor of the Barons. Now it's what can do with the momentum that matters. You don't want to overcompensate for what you've been doing, the chemistry that you've been building. They put 7 hits so far, which is a great number. But again, what matters is plating runs. Get in over your head. Don't swing at bad pitches. And keep displaying the patience has been paying so far in today's game.
2 on and 2 outs for Logan Pollock. Ramirez kicks and fires the curveball in there for strike 1. And that's part of an arsenal that includes a fastball, changeup, and cutter. It's been very effective with the off speed. Up 0-1. 0-1, another curveball spiked in the dirt. Pollock was swinging. 0-2. Nasty pitch from Ramirez. And maybe here you speed him up. Maybe a little bit late on a fastball upcoming. Or you could just spike another curveball, see if Pollock will chase. 2 on, 2 outs. 5-3 in favor of the Oaks. That could change real quick. Fastball on the ground to the right side, through the middle, through the hole for a base hit. 1 run is in. The second run will score. And the Barons tie the game at 5 with a 2-out rally. Shanks came around to score first. Second was Banuelos. And a clutch 2-out knock for Logan Pollock.
One of those runs goes to Kevin Holcomb. He ends his day with 3 2/3 innings pitched, 4 hits, 3 runs. 4 runs. All 4 were earned. 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, and now Ramirez gives up 2 hits and a run under his belt as well. What a rally here to tie the game for the Barons. They answer the quickly with the Oaks' big 4th inning as well.
First pitch into Argumedo. Taken low into the dirt. 1-0. The Oaks with 1 run back in the first inning, 4 in the 4th. As the 1-0 pitch is taken low for a ball, 2-0. The Barons answer the call after a 4-run 4th inning for these Oaks with a 4 spot of their own. 2-0 pitch. Ramirez kicks and offers. Lined into right field. That's going to drop for another hit. And the runner's going to go all the way over to third on the base hit knock for Argumedo. Logan Pollock over at third base. And another 2-out hit for the Barons.
Coach Solis is looking at his lineup card. I wonder how short the leash is on Ramirez right now. This is a little bit out of character for him because in 2 starts coming into today's game, he only gave up 4 hits. And so far, in the first 3 batters he's faced, all 3 of them have hit safely.
4 hits now in the inning for the Barons. Hunter Lewis digs in, and if he gets on, the Barons will have batted around. Runners at the corners for Ramirez. A big lead over at first for Argumedo. As the pitch is chopped over to shortstop, shaken on the short hop. What a play. Fires over to first in time. But not before a 4-run inning for the Barons on 4 hits, no errors, 2 left on base. The game is tied at 5 through 4 full innings from MLB Urban Youth Academy. We'll be right back on the Oaks Baseball Network. Back in for the top of the 5th inning. New pitch for the Barons. Kyle Sally, number 2, the southpaw. And leading off for the Oaks, Brandon Lewis. No, it's going to be Sam Shaken. Brandon Lewis is having a conversation with the umpire. Shaken will lead off. He's 0 for 2, a strikeout, a flyout. Lewis on deck was hit by a pitch in the first, struck out in the third. And then in the hole for the Oaks, Bailey Holbrook. 1 for 2 with a base hit to center field back in the first inning. And all of a sudden, it's a new game. Tied at 5. The Oaks put up 4 runs in the 4th. The Barons answered the call very quickly with 4 of their own. 5 runs on 9 hits for the home team, the Barons. 5 runs on 5 hits for the Oaks. And Shaken digging in for his 3rd at-bat here in the top of the 5th inning. An exciting, action-packed game so far here at MLB Urban Youth Academy. As Sally gets set to go, he's already ready, waiting on Shaken with his pre-at-bat rituals. Quick pause and play. We'll get it going in a second. Now Shaken will dig in for the first pitch of the 5th inning. Sally gets his sign, quickly kicks and offers. Fastball off the plate away, 1-0. Shaken taps the plate with his bat and awaits the 1-0 pitch in the dirt. Everybody ducking out of the way of that pitch, 2-0. Umpire almost fled for the dugout on that pitch in the dirt. 2-0, nobody out. Pitch. This time in there, 2-1. Zipping fastball in the corner. Shaken's been taking a lot of pitches the past few days. Not a lot of hard contact. 2-1. That one's lifted out to deep center field. Shaken running hard. That's over to the track. And a beautiful play out in center field by Andrew Wilson, making the running catch. A few feet from the wall.
Makes up for that miscue he had out there earlier in the game when Will Pickett's hit one out there. This time Wilson, instead of veering forward, knew right off the bat where he had to go over to his left shoulder and run back towards the track.
Shaken.
Guide that ball into his glove.
Shaken now 0 for 3. Brandon Lewis steps in. 0 for 1 with a hit by pitch. Takes a fastball low, 1-0. And Lewis doesn't often get too many opportunities to go against left-handed pitching. You know he's licking his chops with this opportunity.
Especially with the way the ball's carrying.
1-0 is taken in the dirt, 2-0.
Sorry about that, Brenner. But, yeah, I mean, the way that the ball's carrying here, especially as a pull hitter, this could be an opportunity for him to launch one out of here.
2-0 pitch. Taken for a strike on the outside corner, 2-1 now to Lewis. Sally quickly ready. Gets his sign. Kicks and offers. 2-1 line to the second baseman. Beautiful play by Anderson on the short hop. Lobs it over to first base in time to get Lewis. And 2 quick outs for Kyle Sally.
Yeah, beautiful short hop right there. Anderson stepped back. Made sure the ball was caught against his body so that way it wouldn't go anywhere if it went over him or past his glove. Then made the easy toss over to first. Well done over there from the middle infielder.
Holbrook now steps in from the right side for the first time today. 1 for 2. First pitch taken at the knees, 0-1. Have we seen Holbrook hit from the right side so far this year?
I don't think so. This being the first lefty that the Oaks have faced in a while.
0-1 pitch. Just a little bit upstairs, 1-1.
But having a switch hitter over there, especially in the 5 spot, is a big commodity for the Oaks.
1-1. Off speed, low and inside. 2-1. Good idea from Sally with the curveball, the first he's thrown this inning. Trying to get Holbrook off balance. Kicks and fires on the 2-1 delivery in there for a strike. 2-2.
How about from the Duke prospect? Getting it done yesterday in the bottom of the order as a batter, and right here, giving all he has here against the Oaks, and so far, pitching very well.
2-2, 2 outs. Holbrook checks his swing, but he went. Strikes out swing for a 1-2-3 inning for the Barons. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. We're through 4.5 here from MLB Urban Youth Academy. Scores tied at 5. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Oaks Baseball on the Oaks Broadcast Network. Back in for the bottom of the 5th inning. Jerry Ramirez back on the hill for the Oaks. In hitting is Andrew Wilson. He walked last inning and grounded out back in the 2nd. He came around to score also last inning. And for his 2nd official at-bat, Ramirez kicks and fires. Fastball right down the middle in there for a strike. 0-1. 5 runs on 5 hits for the visiting Oaks. Their first road game of the year. 5 runs on 9 hits for the Barons. Off speed, a shattered bat, but into center field for a base hit. So Ramirez sacrifices his bat. Wilson sacrifices his bat and is rewarded with his first knock of the day.
4 hits in 5 batters faced now for Jerry Ramirez. He's pitching strikes, but those strikes are being hit for contact, and most of them have been up the center field line.
Roosevelt Barnes now settles in. A walk, a stolen base last inning. Struck out back in the 2nd. Wilson, a big secondary lead, and the fastball from Ramirez is taken up and in by Barnes. Had to duck out of the way to shield himself from the fastball. 1-0. Wilson is thinking about taking second. Swing and a miss at the changeup. 1-1.
That changeup was very nice over the heart of the plate, but had Barnes way out in front of it.
Barnes waits the 1-1 offering. Long hold, and the pitch is a curveball swung on and missed. A thing of beauty out of the hands of Ramirez.
So after blowing the batter off with a high inside fastball, a changeup and a curveball are the next 2 pitches, and both were pitched to effect. Well done here from Ramirez to recover after a bad first pitch of the at-bat.
1-2 pitch from Ramirez to Barnes. Kicks and fires. Fastball in the dirt. He spiked it. Wilson's going to take second base. Vitt couldn't even find it. Wilson thinks about third. But he's smart enough to get back to second base.
That ball was bounced very high, and I don't blame Vitt for not figuring out exactly where that ball was, because it's hard when you don't see it pop up like that and then it just hangs over you. The initial reaction is to think quickly, but you can't think quickly because the ball's nowhere to be seen. But a good quick reaction by Vitt after he found the ball to make sure that Wilson didn't trek over to third.
2-2 now to Barnes. Kicks and fires. A little bit low, 3-2. Wilson shattered his bat. Hit a base hit up the middle. Advanced to second on the pass ball. There's nobody out in the inning. Full count pitch upcoming to Barnes. Payoff pitch on its way. Fastball lined into shallow left field. Shaken. Can't get there. And that's going to be a base hit for Barnes. Advancing to third is Wilson. And the Barons in business again. Runners at the corners with nobody out. Cameron Dean steps in.
A big spot here. Dean had a sacrifice fly out to center field back in the 4th inning. And right here, another opportunity. Instead, though, to take the lead for the Barons. Nobody away. And the go-ahead run 90 feet away from scoring position. How about 11 hits through the first 5 innings of this ballgame for the Barons? Great offensive showing for them.
Ramirez, first pitch is tapped foul out of play, 0-1. Dean, 0 for 1 on the day. A sacrifice fly back in the 4th inning. Runners at the corners. Barnes at first. Wilson at third. 0-1 offering from Ramirez to Dean. Curve ball taken low for a ball, 2-0. 1-1, excuse me. Jacob Shanks on deck. He's 2 for 2 with 2 base hits to center. Ramirez gets a sign from Vitt. Delivers a ball in the dirt. Looked like the changeup again, 2-1.
Looks like Kyle Slally will take the bat here and hit also as well as pitch. Remember, Solomon Bates was a pitcher and a hitter last year for the Barons. He actually got drafted this year.
2-1 pitch to Dean, lifted out of play right side. Over to the spectators on the bleachers in foul territory.
And how dangerous, is it that the Barons are able to call on their pitcher to also come and hit in a pinch? That has to feel good, especially if he comes through for you.
2-2 now to Dean. He steps back in. Ramirez is ready to go. No outs in the inning.
So it looks like Argumedo will move out of the DH spot and catch. Jacob Shanks is done.
2-2 pitch. Runner goes to second base. The throw is not in time. And Roosevelt Barnes steals his second bag of the day.
Beautiful play right there from the Barons offensive staff. They recognize that the Oaks may not be paying attention. I don't think Bryce Vitt was necessarily ready for that stolen base attempt, and that allowed, the Barons to capitalize. 2 runners in scoring position now, nobody away.
Full count pitch to Dean. Fastball on the ground over to shortstop, shaken. Over to first in time, but Wilson scores from third, and the Barons take their first lead of the day. 6-5 now.
And what a great spot from Cameron Dean in the 8th spot. He's gone out all 3 times he's up, but 2 of the 3 times have scored runs. That is a big contribution regardless of the fact he has yet to reach base.
Kyle Sally steps in after a scoreless frame. Takes off speed inside. 1-0.
So Sally is the DH now, and I do believe they'll move Joseph Argumedo over to catcher once the field is taken for the Barons.
1-0 to Sally. Takes a fastball off the plate. Count is now 2-0. Over at third base is Roosevelt Barnes. 2-0 to Sally and an RBI opportunity. Lifted out to shallow center field. Coming in is Alexander. He makes the play. Here comes the throw to the plate. Not in time. And a sacrifice fly from Sally scores Barnes from third base. Barons extend their lead to 7-5.
The pitcher helping his own case here. Giving himself a little bit of an edge once he takes the mound in the top of the 6th. So far up 7-5. And the Barons have been rallying with 2 away so far in this game, so I wouldn't expect this inning to necessarily, or this half inning, I should say, to necessarily be over.
Trent Anderson takes a first pitch strike at the knees, 0-1. Anderson, quiet day, 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. Was hitless yesterday, too. He takes the 0-1 pitch inside. 1-1. Despite the hitless effort yesterday, he walked twice and came around to score in the first of yesterday's game as he takes the 1-1 pitch in the dirt, 2-1. Banuelos on deck. He's 3 for 3 with a couple base hits and a double. First for Ramirez, Anderson. Another off speed taken inside, now 3-1. Anderson from CSUB. 3-1 pitch. Lifted out to center field, no problem for Alexander. He makes the play to end the inning. A run on 2 hits, no errors, nobody left on base. We're through 5 full, 7-5 Barons here on the Oaks Baseball Network. Leading off for the Oaks in the top of the 6th inning, Michael Tillman. Reached base on a walk in the 4th inning, flew out to first base back in the 1st. He'll try and get on to spark an Oaks rally as they're suddenly down 7-5 in this game. Kyle Sally back on the hill for his 2nd inning of work. Kicks and fires. Fastball away, taken 1-0. On deck is Bryce Vitt for his first at-bat. Took over Drew Sims, who left the game with an injury. 1-0, taken on the edge. 1-1. Will Pickett's will hit in the 3-hole this inning. He is a double on the day, fielder's choice as well. 1-1 from Sally. Fouled back out of play, 1-2.
And of course, not only is the injury painful for the Oaks to have to deal with, but it hurts even more because Drew Sims reached base both times he was up. He singled and also reached on an error in the 4th inning and was stranded on 3rd. So the only consistent base runner for the Oaks today is no longer in the game.
Tillman digs in for the 1-2 offering. Fastball upstairs. Taken for a ball. Was not tempted there. Tillman entered the day with a .273 average. That's dropped a little bit today. There's a base hit to left field for Tillman, who checks in for his first hit of the day. Now on base for the 2nd consecutive at-bat.
Big hit there for the Oaks. They need to find a way to generate some sort of offense. 2 hits in the 1st, 1 hit in the 2nd, 2 hits in the 4th. Have accounted for their hits on the day, and finally they were able to muster one up here. It's been every other inning so far, and that's not something you want to do, especially with the Barons offense rolling in this game.
Bryce Vitt steps in with a .200 average. Takes a fastball inside. 1-0.
Of course, that .200 average, only 1 hit in 5 at-bats. Small sample size.
1-0 taken inside, 2-0. Tillman over at first. Vitt up at the plate. Catcher has walked in 6 has walked once with a hit in 6 plate appearances. 2-0. Taken upstairs, now 3-0. And if Vitt reaches base as a result of the walk here, the Oaks will have the go-ahead runner up at the plate, represented by Will Pickets. 3-0. Taken down the middle for a strike, 3-1.
And, of course, Pickets has reached base 2 times today as well, but one was on a fielder's choice. He did have a 2 RBI double back in the 4th inning.
3-1 pitch swung on and missed. A full count now to Bryce Vitt. And it's tough. You know, he didn't come to the ballpark today expecting to grab a bat.
Or at least this early in the game.
3-2 from Sally. He checks the runner. Kicks and offers. Fastball lined back to the screen. 3-2 again. Sally ready to go. He's a quick worker on the mound. Always nice to see. Tillman takes the lead off of first. Sally checks Tillman. Now kicks and fires over to first. To no avail. Tillman back in safely. Wind has shifted back to right field. Beautiful sunny day. 3-2 pitch. Off speed, fouled back. So Lee's put on the hit and run there. Tillman was off to second running, but he'll have to retreat back to first base as a result of the foul ball.
3-2 makes sense to run on. The only reason it would hurt you is if he strikes out or there's a fly ball. But if a fly ball happens, the runner can always stop in his tracks and go backwards. If he strikes out, then you could get a double play on the caught stealing attempt.
3-2 pitch to Vitt. Sally kicks and fires. Off speed, fought off again. Lifted out of play to the right side. Bounces back on the field.
It actually hit off of the light post over here. That's really interesting because it's so narrow. You have to be pretty accurate to be able to hit it. And right there, Vitt was able to accomplish that. Not necessarily something that people think about, but why not give him a little target practice?
Catcher's always about precision. Full count pitch to Vitt. Tillman off of first. Pitch is taken off the plate away and a walk to Vitt. A well-fought at-bat, and he earns first base because of it. Tillman over to second now, and the Oaks threatening here with 2 on and nobody out.
I mean, the second walk drawn on the day by the Conejo Oaks. That's an important stat because patience has not been a virtue. When they show patience, they likely will strike out because that's what we saw yesterday in the 16 strikeout game. And today, they've struck out 3 times, most because of looking patient as well.
Pickets to the plate. Shows bunt for the first pitch. Pulls back in time. The pitch is low, 1-0. Pickets reached in the second on a fielder's choice. A double in the fourth. He came around to score. Sims over at first. Tillman over at second. 7-5 in favor of the Barons. Sally. 1-0 pitch is taken away. 2-0. And Sally looked so precise, so strong in his first inning of work. Maybe a little bit fatigued.
Yeah, after hitting that towering sacrifice fly to center may have taken out some of his energy. And that happens when you're a two-way player and you pour too much energy on one side of the ball. It can affect your performance on the other side of the ball.
2-0. Sally checking Tillman over at second. Delivers a fastball in at the knees. 2-1. Good pitch from Sally to recover. That was a big one. Can't go down 3-0 to Pickets.
His father watching in the crowd. He was talking to head coach Solis earlier from one coach to another.
2-1 off speed over to third base. Oh, he bobbled it over at third. Rounding third and coming home is Tillman. He'll score on the error by the third baseman, Logan Pollock. A sloppy game on both sides of the ball. Mostly for the Barons. 2 dropped fly balls in center field, and now the botched ground ball by Pollock over at third.
And that will be an unearned run because it was scored by way of an error.
So now, first and second again, nobody out. Tanner Wright is the hitter. Wright takes a fastball away, 1-0. Wright a ground out in the second inning. An RBI ground out in the fourth. This time he may want to get it in the air. 1-0. Sally sets and offers. Lined up the middle for a base hit. Rounding second and heading home is Sims. No, he's going to be held at third base. And a good base hit for Tanner Wright loads the bases for Elijah Alexander, who went deep in his last at-bat.
Big spot here for the Oaks. They have the tying run at third. They have the go-ahead run at first. Or excuse me, at second. They have the insurance run at first. With nobody away in the top of the order where most of this team's hits have come from in today's game, it is a big spot. And how about Will Pickett's over at first? He's reached base all 3 times he's been up. 2 errors and a double.
Bases juiced. Alexander was swinging. First pitch is lined to the left side and out of play. Tough matchup for Alexander, left on left. And he's quickly down 0-1. Vid over at third. Pickett's at second, Wright at first. Sally kicks and offers. Off speed at the knees. Good pitch, 0-2.
If you're Elijah Alexander, you don't want to give any sort of a momentum to the opposing team by way of a strikeout or a double play. A deep ball could tie this game up.
0-2 from Sally. A fastball away. Hit the target from Argumedo. Just a show-me fastball there to Alexander, who steps back in. Bases juiced, nobody out. 1-2, taken in there, called strike 3, an off-speed pitch. A wicked frisbee curve taken at the knees, and Alexander slowly walks back to the dugout for the first out of the inning.
Great got-him pitch right there. Late break had Alexander dead in his tracks because it started inside, and that late break caught the part of the plate that has been called a strike all game long. Alexander looked back, didn't like the call, but nonetheless, that's a consistent call that this ump has called all day long.
Ramon Gomez steps in. Big swing at the first pitch fastball. Right by him, 0-1. Gomez homered back in the first inning to get the scoring started in this one. Since then, a ground out and a strikeout looking. 0-1 from Sally. Just a little bit outside, 1-1. Sally has given up a run in the inning. That was an unearned run. Will Pickett's reached on the error. 1-1 pitch. Fastball in on the hands. Gomez couldn't get the barrel to it. Fouls it off his leg. Now 1-2. Sally already ready to go. Gomez taking his time, takes a couple deep breaths, now steps in. 1-2, bases loaded. 7-6 Barons. Sally a long pause and now the pitch. Taken upstairs and outside, 2-2. A lot of action in this game so far. The Oaks are running the first, 4 in the fourth, and a run so far in the sixth. 4 in the fourth for the Barons, 2 in the fifth for the Barons. Gomez digs in for the 2-2 pitch. Curveball on the ground to the left side, a foul ball. 2-2 again. Bryce Vitt at third. Will Pickett's at second. Tanner Wright at first. Only 2 hits in the inning, though. A run already scored. Sally offers. Off speed away, taken. And a 3-2 pitch is upcoming. Gomez got to be expecting to see something to hit here. If you're Sally, you do not want to walk in a run. Full count from Sally. Kicks and offers. Swung on and fouled off of his front leg. Gomez is now down in pain. He's still down.
And he's holding his knee. I don't think it was the ball that hit off of him that necessarily was the part that hurt him. I think it was the way that he came down. And if you watched it, the way he came down on the side of his leg. Ooh, that is not something you want to see. He is very tender. He tried putting weight on it, and now he's back down on the ground. Really holding that leg tenderly right now.
You hate to see that. That's the third player who's been down on the ground in pain today. And that's 3 too many. Obviously, 2 bitter rivals, the Barons and the Oaks. But players on both sides, you never want to see that.
Especially in summer ball. Look, the purpose of this game, yes, it's competition, but the purpose of summer ball is to give these players an opportunity to showcase their skills. For the JC players, it's an opportunity for them to make a name for themselves and get picked up by a big Division I school. For Division I, 2, and 3 players, it's an opportunity for them to get looked at by scouts and hopefully have a chance at the show. And right here, you see an unfortunality, of summer collegiate ball, which is an unforced injury. And that's what we've seen so far today for all 3 of these players. Of course, Drew Sims and Jacob Shanks both went down after they collided on a throw from the catcher, Drew Sims, over to third base. But right now it looks like Raymond Gomez will be okay.
Yeah, he's going to try and finish the at-bat.
Now he's putting a little bit more weight. Oftentimes when a nerve gets hit, it's an initial shock that makes it hard for people to put pressure on it or move whatever part of the nerve was hit. But right there, he was able to, after initially not being able to put weight on his leg, shake it off, and hopefully he'll be able to finish out this at-bat, hopefully the game.
3-2, bases loaded to Gomez, who steps out. 1 out in the inning. Vitt at third, Pickett's at second, right at first. Gomez, the hitter, fights off a tough off-speed pitch, and he lines it back to the screen to live for another pitch. Gomez homered back in the first inning from Oxnard City College. Sally peers in, kicks and fires. Slider ripped down the line, but just a bit foul.
And that was the pitch, an off-speeder, left hanging, but Gomez was just a tad ahead of it. If he waited about a half a second longer, he would have ripped that down the line, and that would have been good at least for a single and to drive in at least a run to tie up this game. But nonetheless, another payoff pitch here pending.
10th pitch of the at-bat. Sally to Gomez, bases loaded, the count is full. Curveball, dribbler on the ground to third. They're going to take one at second, and doing his best to get to first is Gomez. He tumbles over, and an inning-ending double play for the Barons, a clutch pitch from Sally. In the inning, 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, and 2 men left on base. 7-6, the Oaks cut the lead. We'll be back shortly here on the Oaks Broadcast Network. Back in for the bottom of the 6th inning, and for play-by-play, here's my partner, Jonathan Rifkind.
Thank you, Jordan.
Oh, excuse me.
I'll do it, but I do believe you have another half inning.
I do have a half
left.
inning.
Yeah.
Trust me, I'm happy to do it. Thank you for noticing that. Banuelos steps in. First pitch, curveball taken in the dirt from Ramirez. 1-0.
You know why it wasn't official? Because you didn't toss me the baseball that we normally toss back and forth.
That's
when we
right.
Toss it.
I still have the baseball in my hand and happy to have it.
You were teasing me. I see.
Just a little bit of a preview of what you'll see in like 20 minutes.
20 minutes. How long is this half inning going to take?
1-0 pitch is grounded over to shortstop. Fires over to first, shaken to Lewis. In time for the first out of the inning. Well, if the game has been going, if it continues to go as it has been throughout today, then 20 minutes, I'd say, is a pretty good estimation.
Especially with the last 2 innings for the Barons. 6 combined runs between the 4th and the 5th. They have been really rolling here in the middle of the ball game.
Logan Pollock steps in. 2 for 3. On the edge, called a strike, 0-1. Pollock made the error at third that allowed a run to score in the past inning. He's going to try and make up for it at the plate. Big curveball a little bit outside, 1-1.
And how about the 2, 3, and 4 hitters? Banuelos, Pollock, and Argumedo for the Barons. They are 7 for 10 so far on the game.
Skied out to center field. Alexander coming in. Makes the play for a quick second out.
Make that 7 for 11, but still a lot of production in the middle of the order here for the Barons. They have 7 of the 11 hits for the Barons. That is a good sign when the middle of the order, the part that you rely on the most, is producing. You should see results. The only difference, though, is the Oaks have been capitalizing on the base runners they see, but they're still trailing by 1.
Argumedo steps in. First pitch, a curveball taken for a strike. 0-1. Ground out to shortstop, a fly out to center field, and quick 2 outs for Ramirez. 0-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss on a sinking fastball at the back knee. Good pitch from Ramirez. He's up 0-2. Argumedo quickly back in. He's 2 for 3. Reached base all 3 times, the second time on a fielder's choice. Curveball taken at the knees. Called strike 3. Good rebound inning from Ramirez. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. And when we come back, you'll hear from Jonathan Rifkind on play-by-play. For now, we set it to break here on the Oaks Broadcasting Network. Back in for the top of the 7th inning. I had the pleasure of doing the past 3 innings of play-by-play. You know, yesterday was my birthday, and I received some great presents, but nothing brings me more pleasure than tossing it to Jonathan Rifkind for the remainder of the contest on play-by-play.
Thank you, Jordan. I'm not exactly sure, because your birthday's over, how that would be the best present you got on your birthday. But
it's my birthday week.
Okay, your birthday weekend, we'll call it. Fair enough, fair enough. Nonetheless, the Oaks still trail 7-6. Kyle Sally still on the mound for the Barons. In game number 2 of the series, the Oaks dropped yesterday's game 5-2. Here, a lot of offense in this one, trailing 5-6 with the 3, 4, and 5 hitters due up. Shaken, Lewis, and Holbrook. Sam Shaken stepping in 0 for 3, following a 1 for 4 day yesterday. To turn the tide here is the first pitch from Sally is a breaking pitch taken for strike 1. A lot of first pitch strikes taken by the Oaks here. Wind now shifting to right field as the 0-1 pitch is cracked foul off the screen, 0-2 the count. We're playing here at the MLB Urban Youth Academy, one of 6 in the country, but the one here in Compton was the first one opened in the United States. In 2002, the Major League Baseball Association opened up their first ever one in Puerto Rico. 0-2 pitch, big cut and miss for strike 3. Second time, Shaken is out on strikes in the game. The third strikeout on the day for Sally, and that puts an out up on the board. But going back to what I was saying, in 2006, Major League Baseball came into Compton and said, you know what, let's try to clean up the area a little bit and create a beautiful facility in accordance with the Dodgers and the Angels, and they did just that. It's been home to showcase players such as Anthony Gose. Trayvon Robinson is the first pitch to Brandon Lewis, runs low and away for ball 1. Aaron Hicks, Efren Navarro, J.P. Crawford, Dominic Smith, Dylan Tate. More recently, Hunter Green, the number 1 draft pick in last year's draft. Kyle Sally deals the 1-0. Taken at the knees for a strike, 1-1 the count. By the way, Brandon Lewis 0 for 2 with a hit by a pitch, a strikeout, and a ground out. The other MLB Urban Youth facilities as Sally deals the 1-1 pitch. Upstairs, ball 2. Houston, Texas, New Orleans, Cincinnati, and they are currently developing a few other ones in Cleveland, Ohio, Detroit, Michigan, Miami, Florida, Philadelphia, and San Francisco. The 2-1 pitch almost hits the umpires. It gets back to the backstop for ball 3, 3-1 the count. Nonetheless, MLB Urban Youth Academy has served as a wonderful home for a lot of young talent in the area who may not have had an opportunity to showcase their skills otherwise, and also brought some flavor into the Compton community. Sally deals the 3-1. Hanging curveball, called strike. Full count now here to Lewis. Brandon Lewis has gone off to a slow start this season, now batting under .230. As Sally deals the payoff pitch. Skied high and deep to left field. And that one is just foul over the wall. He knew that one was gone, but he just sliced it foul.
Brandon Lewis just can't buy a home run. He's hit it hard. Yesterday he had the double to the wall. If it were not for the wind at Cal Lutheran, that would have been gone.
And I'll tell you what, if there was wind here like there is, wind at Cal Lutheran, that would have been a home run because the wind would have brought that ball into play, and with the power it was hit, no form of headwind would have slowed it down. Payoff pitch 2.0 here from Sally. That one is sliced into right field for a single. So instead of pulling one over the wall, Brandon Lewis goes opposite field and plays a little bit of small ball. Gets a 1-out base knock here for the Oaks, and he represents the tying run on first base. That is his first hit of the ball game, the third sufficed by Kyle Sally, and the 8th total for the ball game for the Oaks.
Brandon Lewis makes the game of baseball look so easy. Almost disappointed in himself, only getting a base hit after that swing.
That brings up Bailey Holbrook. As he slices one foul, strike 1 on the day for Holbrook. 1 for 3, a single, a ground out to second, and a strikeout looking in his 3 at-bats. Hope everybody's enjoying their Saturday afternoon as we hit the 2-hour and 15-minute mark of the ball game. It's been an offensive showing for both teams. Sally checks the runner over at first. Lewis does have a stolen base on the season. 0-1 pitch is cut on and missed for strike 2. We appreciate anybody, whether you're an Oaks or a Barons fan or just a fan of the game of baseball, for making us a part of their Saturday afternoon. Pickoff attempt. Nothing doing there. We'll do it again. No balls, 2 strikes. The Barons so far have played a phenomenal game. 7 runs on 11 hits, but it's been the 2 errors that have costed them. Low 2. Goes way over the glove of Argumedo. He actually loses his glove trying to make that catch, and that will allow Brandon Lewis to take second base on the wild pitch. He tried jumping out of his way, and in an attempt to make it a catch, he actually let go of his glove. Nonetheless, the damage was already done. Luckily, though, for Argumedo and the Barons, that ball rolled back into his bare hands, allowing the only damage on the base paths by Lewis to be done, which was advancing from first to second, nothing further. Holbrook still fighting off some pitches, 1-2 count. Sally deals a curveball outside, 2-2 the count now.
Sally's got to bury a curveball here. Holbrook's been out in front of that pitch this whole at-bat. If he executes that curveball, expect a K in the scorebook.
Sally deals. Nope, he steps off for time. 2 balls and 2 strikes. By the way, the Barons had 3 errors in yesterday's game, so that's 5 errors in the last 2 ball games. If you're Coach Landreau, that's an aspect you need to work on. The 2-2, big swing and a miss, pitches in the dirt. Argumedo will fire it over to first for the 2-3 putout and out number 2. 4th strikeout on the day for Sally. 6th strikeout overall for the Barons. Not as impressive as yesterday's 16 strikeout performance, but still the 6 strikeouts have been big here in this ball game. Brandon Lewis stays put at second. 2 away, Michael Tillman now up. He's 1 for 2. A single, 2 runs scored, a walk, fly out, and a stolen base to his name in today's game. The lefty fires in the first pitch, fouled back against the screen. No balls and a strike now to the Pierce Junior College product.
Sally's in a groove now. He's throwing the curveball for a strike. He's burying it in the dirt, and he's complementing that with a fastball located on the inside corner that the righties can't get their barrel to.
Tillman taps the plate a couple times, swings that bat high over his right shoulder as the 0-1 pitch is a half-hearted swing over to Anderson at second. Feel it cleanly and lightly tossed it over to first for out number 3. No runs hit, no errors. Well left on base. Top of the 7th is over. Oaks trail 7-6. We'll be back for the bottom right after this on the Oaks Baseball Broadcasting Network. Back. 7-6 to score here in the bottom of the 7th. The Barons looking to capitalize on that 1-run lead here. Welcome back, everybody. Jordan Brenner, myself, Jonathan Rifkin, Sean McKinnon, our producer. Hunter Lewis digs in 0 for 3 on the day with a couple of flyouts and a ground out as the first pitch is taken for strike 1 from Jerry Ramirez. Now in his 4th inning of work. 5, 6, 7 spot due up here for the Barons. Andrew Wilson and Roosevelt Barnes do it behind Hunter Lewis. 0-1 from Ramirez is another curveball taken in there for strike number 2. That curveball has been his most effective pitch all season long.
No doubt about it.
He takes a breath, Toes the rubber and fires in the 0-2, a fastball upstairs, 1-2 the count. Wind now blowing steadily out to right, quicker than we've seen it all day so far, as Angus Denton will trot out into the bullpen and take some warm-up pitches. The 1-2 pitch is a curveball that gets away from Bryce Vitt behind the dish, 2-2 the count.
And going to Denton when you're trailing tells me that Dave Solis really wants to win this game.
Due to ripped over to third, but just foul, and we'll do it again. A reiteration of the Oaks field for you here. In the last inning, Kyle Velasquez came in second in place of Raymond Gomez, but Michael Tillman is still in right. Elijah Alexander is still in center, and Tanner Wright is in left. Brandon Lewis at first, Kyle Velasquez, as I mentioned, at second. Sam Shaken at short. Over at third is Pickett's. Behind the dish is Bryce Viet. As the 2-2 is swung on and missed for strike 3 by Hunter Lewis. That is Jerry Ramirez's second strikeout on the game, 5th total for the Oaks. Picks up right where he left off in the 6th inning, where he struck out Joseph Argumedo looking. Here he gets Hunter Lewis swinging, and that brings up Andrew Wilson.
Andrew Wilson rocking the flow.
Definitely one of the cleaner hairstyles that we have seen as he skies one to the shallow right field. Tillman will make his way over to it for out number 2. 1 pitch, 2 away now here for Andrew Wilson, for Jerry Ramirez and the Conejo Oaks. By the way, before that, Wilson was 0 for 1, or 1 for 2, I should say, actually, with a single, a run scored, a walk, a stolen base, and a ground out. That brings up Roosevelt Barnes. Will look to keep this 2-out inning alive on the day so far. He's 2 for 3, a single, a run score, and a walk. First pitch is a curveball upstairs for ball 1. 6 runs, 8 hits, no errors for the Oaks. 7 runs, 11 hits, 2 errors for the Barons. Ramirez deals the 1-0. And the dirt, ball 2. It's been the curveball fastball combination for Jerry Ramirez here in this inning.
Toss in a changeup here and there.
His repertoire has been effective. A 2-0. Couple of dribbler over to third, bobbled, but fired over to first. In time for out number 3. Pickett was able to recover nicely, and that will complete a 1-2-3 inning here from Jerry Ramirez, as we are through 7 now. To the top of the 8th we go. The Oaks down by 1, 7-6. You're watching Oaks baseball on the Oaks Broadcasting Network. We'll be right back. Back here, top of the 8th inning. Jordan Brenner, joined by myself, Jonathan Rifkin. Sean McKinnon, our producer for the game. Oaks trail. Barons lead 7-6, but the Oaks will look to muster up some runs here in the latter half of this game. Opportunities now dwindling down to the final 6 outs. As Drew Sims will lead things off. He's 0 for 0 with a walk back in the 6th inning. Coming in for the Bryce Vitt is the batter as he takes a pitch outside. He is still 0 for 0 with a walk. He did take the place of Drew Sims, however, when Sims went out with that injury. New pitcher on the mound is Ryan Hare as he deals the 0-1. Missing outside, 1-1 the count. Hare calls UNLV his home. The Oaks catcher, Zach Kamikaw, is his catcher in Las Vegas. He'll look to do some work here in the end of the ball game. Deals the 1-1. Missing outside, 2-1 the count. He comes in for Kyle Sally, who had a great day on the mound. In 3 innings, he only gave up 3 hits and 1 run. That run was unearned, however. 1 walk, 4 strikeouts. 2-1 pitch from Hare. Missing outside for a 3rd straight time. 3-1 the count to Bryce Vitt. Hare toes the rubber and fires a 3-1. Skied foul out of play off the facility here, the player facility here at the MLB Urban Youth Academy, which is connected to Compton Community College. A great addition to the University land. Payoff pitch. Sliced over to third into the glove of Pollock. He'll fire it over to first and beat Vitt by a step for out number 1. The Urban Youth Academy, you get a small sample size looking at it from this angle, but it has a couple of fields, and overall it takes up 10 acres of land. So far, this part of the ballpark, or this part of the park, I should say, this ballpark that we're playing, which is the main showcase park, has the lights. No other field here has the lights, but there are plans to build lights throughout the facility. First pitch it comes into Will Pickett's, taken for strike 1 on the outside corner. On the day for Pickett's, he's reached base all 3 times he's been up on a fielder's choice in the 2nd, an RBI, 2 RBI double in the 4th, and an error in the 6th. To continue that streak here, so the Oaks are trailing by 1. Hare fires in the 0-1. Low and away, ball 1. I'll give you a reiteration of the field here for the Barons in just a moment. As Hare sports the UNLV red baseball glove up to his face, toes the rubber, comes set, and fires in the 1-1 pitch. Low and away, 2-1 the count. Roosevelt Barnes is in right, Andrew Wilson in center, Cameron Zena in left, Hunter Lewis is still at first, Trent Anderson and Joshua Banuelos, the second baseman and shortstops, Logan Pollock over at third, and Joseph Argumedo behind the dish. Ryan Hare is the 3rd pitcher of the day for the Barons as he deals the 2-1. A curveball in there for strike number 2. Spencer Hereford started the game for the Barons and went 4 innings. Kyle Sally went 3, and now Hare has been tasked with doing the latter half of the ball game from the mound. Pearson fires the 2-2. In the dirt, ball 3. Pickett showing off the patience here, trying to get on base for his 4th time in the ball game. Couple taps from the plate. Payoff pitch in. Sliced foul down the third base side, and we'll do it again. A lot of full counts in today's game, more so than we've seen all season long. That's a testament to the patience by both sides. Batters working the counts, trying to find their pitch. And it's a big reason why we've seen a total of 19 hits actually in today's ball game. 8 for the Oaks, 11 for the Barons. The payoff pitch. Runs low and away, and Pickett is on for his 4th time in the ball game by way of a walk. He's done it basically every way you can get on. He reached on a fielder's choice, a double, an error, and now a walk.
Very patient at bat. Saw fastballs, saw the off-speed pitch. Was able to lay off the tempting curveballs in the dirt.
That's the 3rd walk the Oaks have drawn in today's game. They've only given up 2 on their side. The first pitch into Tanner Wright. Bounces in the dirt for ball 1. Wright on the day, 1 for 3. 2 groundouts, an RBI, and a single. Was stranded at second base. Then the 6th inning. Hare checks the runner at first and deals the 1-0. Sliced into left field, and that drops into fair territory for extra bases. Rounding second and going to third is Pickett. Wilson waves him home. Dean has some trouble with it out and left, and Pickett will come in without a throw. The Oaks tie it up here on the RBI double by Tanner Wright. We have a ball game on our hands. It's 7-7 here in the top of the 8th inning. High fastball that let Wright turn on it and put it into the corner of left field, allowing him to reach second safely and putting in Pickett's as the Oaks now are in business. First pitch into Elijah Alexander is caught into the diving glove of Lewis, and the pitcher is able to beat out Alexander for an out. What a beautiful play out there at first base. Hunter Lewis on the line, able to dive and make the catch, and a great heads-up play by Hare to cover first base for out number 2. But advancing from second to third on the play is Tanner Wright. That means a single. Give the Oaks the lead here with Raymond Gomez digging in.
Alexander was hustling out of the box, and it was an incredible play by Hunter Lewis over at first base, able to dive for the weird hop over at first base and save a run and save maybe his team. The game's tied. That would have scored a run.
Excuse me, I said Raymond Gomez. Actually, Kyle Velasquez here digging in. Gomez went out on the injury in his last at-bat. Skies one into the infield over at second base. Anderson just has to trot to his right and make the catch for out number 3. Nonetheless, the Oaks strike for 1 run on 1 hit. They tie it up. No errors and 1 left on base. We're through 7.5 here from from the MLB Urban Youth Academy. We're all knotted up at 7. The big finish when we come back here in the bottom of the 8th on the Oaks Broadcasting Network. Back here in the bottom of the 8th inning, Angus Denton will be given the reins here for the Oaks and try to keep this game tied at 7. But it won't be easy with Cameron Dean, Kyle Sally, if he stays in as DH, and Trent Anderson up. The first pitch from Denton is fired outside for ball 1. Jerry Ramirez's day is over. He went 3 1/3, gave up 4 hits, 3 run. All 3 were earned, no walks and 2 strikeouts. As Denton's 1-0 pitch is chopped over to third in fair territory. No, they're calling it foul. Because the ball bounced off of Pickett's at third and went foul before it reached the third base bag, they're saying that it was a foul ball, and that'll even the count of 1 ball and 1 strike. By the way, Cameron Dean's the batter. He's 0 for 3, but with a pair of RBI, actually 0 for 2, but with a pair of RBIs on a sacrifice and a ground out.
Pickett's got away with one there at third. You got to be smarter. The spin of the ball clearly indicated that it was going foul, and
you just have to let that go.
Yeah, the Oaks caught a break there. They'll take it.
1-1 pitch is taken for strike 2 at the knees, and Denton is a really tough pitcher to face. He was the last Oaks pitcher last season to pitch here in the playoff loss as the 1-2 pitch is fired in there, fouled back off the screen. We'll do it again. But on the season so far for Denton, he's been the closer. He has 2 appearances. He's given up no runs, only 1 hit. And he struck out 2. Not necessarily a strikeout pitcher. He pitches for contact effectively. 1-2 pitch. Foul tipped, even though Bryce Vitt, thought it was just missed. We'll do it again.
Wicked stuff from Denton. You don't see swings like that often from these guys.
Flips in the 1-2, just missing inside, and will even the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes. From Arkansas in his second year with the Oaks. One of the favorites by the Caneo Oaks fans as he fires in a 2-2. Big swing and a miss off balance by Dean for strikeout number 1 from the Arkansas Razorback. And that puts an out up on the board here in the bottom of the 8th inning. And we indeed will have a pinch hitter. It's going to be Ryan Hare, who came in as a pitcher back in the top half of the inning. Takes the place of Kyle Sally, who ends up going 0 for 0 with a sacrifice RBI to center field. First pitch is taken for strike 1 to Hare. Oh, 1 pitch, drops low. Hare thought about swinging, wisely held up. 1-1 the count. 7 runs, 9 hits for the Oaks, no errors. 7 runs, 11 hits, 2 errors for the Barons. 1-1, big cut on a miss for strike 2, and the entire Oaks bench kind of moaning in joy at that one. Denton deals the 1-2, half-hearted swing. The appeals say he did not go. That pitch was outside, 2-2 the count. 2-2 pitch. Is that slider? Drops low. Payoff pitch coming. Payoff pitch. Misses low and away, and Denton throws a 6-pitch walk. Hare is able to draw it, and that was the opposing team's pitcher. The last thing you want to do is walk the weakest batter in the lineup, and that's exactly what Denton did there. That is a great sign for the Barons as they showed the patience, and it paid dividends.
And here's what Denton has been working on. He's been trying to develop that changeup to lefties. He's going to need it here.
Trent Anderson digs in, gets the bunt down. Denton fields it, fires it over the first, but the sacrifice works to perfection. A 1-3 sacrifice bunt for Trent Anderson. He's now 0 for 4 still, but that sacrifice at least takes 1 out away in that column. And that puts a runner in scoring position with 2 away for Joshua Banuelos, who's had a phenomenal day, 3 for 4, with a double, a pair of singles, an RBI, and a ground out.
This is who you want up if you're the Barons. If you told them at the start of the day you're going to be tied 7-7 with Banuelos up in the 8th to go ahead, I think they'd take it. That's how good a hitter he is.
A single would take the lead here for the Barons. Denton deals a strike at the knees. That pitch has been called a strike all day long on both sides. A consistent strike zone is what we've seen. At the knees has been called a strike. Yesterday, not so much. It was the outside corner that was the Achilles heel for these players. The 0-1 pitch is foul tipped. We'll do it again. No balls, 2 strikes, and Ben Wells isn't happy with that one because the bat barely left his shoulder, but because he turned his body, the movement of the ball forced it onto the bat, and that's a strike. Logan Pollock waiting patiently on deck, hoping to get an up in this inning as the 0-2 pitch is cracked to short. Shaken fires it over to first for out number 3, and Denton gets out of the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 left on base. We're through 8 full here from the MLB Urban Youth Academy. All knotted up at 7. We'll see if the Oaks or the Barons can take the lead in the 9th inning. Don't go anywhere. We got a good one on our hands on the Oaks Broadcasting Network. He's Jordan Brenner. I'm Jonathan Rifkin. Sean McKinnon, our producer for today's game. Thank you for joining us on a Saturday. We have a good one on our hands. The Oaks and the Barons all knotted up at 7. With the middle of the Oaks order, 3, 4, and 5 batters due up. They've been relatively quiet. And Ryan Hare will try to shut them down here in the top of the 9th inning. Sam Shaken digs in, and Hare deals the first pitch. Foul tipped, and bouncing backwards, 0-1 the count. Shaken on the day, 2 strikeouts and 2 flyouts to his name. Trying to turn around his fortunes here in what's been a slow start to the season. The Valparaiso Crusader takes a couple of practice swings, shoulders the bat, and Hare fires in the 0-1. Bouncing in the dirt. 1-1 the count. The Barons had the go-ahead run in scoring position back in the 8th inning, but stranded him at second. Now the Oaks have an opportunity here to try to take the lead. The 0-1. Sliced into right field. Moving over to it is Barnes, and he'll make the catch for out number 1.
Shaken's been a beat off the last couple days. I'm sensing maybe an off day coming for Shaken from Solis. Maybe not. Maybe he needs to swing his way out of it, but something's a little bit off from Shaken today.
He's now 0 for 5 and 1 for his last 9. Pretty uncharacteristic from the Valparaiso Crusader. That'll bring up Brandon Lewis now. He's 1 for 3 on the day. He was hit by a pitch. He has a single, a strikeout, and a ground out. Hare deals the first pitch to the Irvine product. Taken low and away for ball 1.
He also has a very loud foul ball.
I was about to say he did pull one down the left field line, but it just went left of the foul pole. The running Rebel fires in the 1-0 pitch. It's cracked to second on the second hop. Anderson gets it and fires it over the first for out number 2. 2 quick outs here in the top of the 9th. In the offensive showcase, the Oaks were hoping the muster here in the second half of the game has been lackluster to say the least. Bailey Holbrook now batting from the left side of the batter's box. Will try to change the fortunes here. He's 1 for 4 on the day with a pair of strikeouts, a groundout, and a single. Standing tall at 230 pounds. Swing that bat over his left shoulder. Hare deals. Foul tipped back into the glove of Argumedo for strike 1. The middle of the order has been quiet for the Oaks all season long. It's mostly been the 1 and 2 hitters or the 8 and 9 hitters who have gotten it done. Today's game, it's been those final 2 spots. Will Pickett's and Tanner Wright having phenomenal days. The 0-1 from Hare. Skied in the left center field, converging on it are Wilson and Dean out of left field. Dean will make the catch for out number 3. The Oaks go down in short order. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left on base. The Barons can win it in the bottom of the 9th when we come back right here on the Oaks Broadcasting Network, knotted up at 7. Angus Denton is back on the mound, trying to shut out a hot Barons offense here in the bottom of the 9th. We're all tied up at 7 apiece. But a dangerous middle of the order. Logan Pollock in the 3 spot, Joseph Argumedo in the 4 spot, and Hunter Lewis in the 5 spot will try to get the job done here and walk off in the bottom of the 9th inning, though the Oaks have their best pitcher out on the mound right now in the form of Angus Denton. So it's going to be a battle here in the bottom of the 9th inning between these two teams. A lot of offense here in this one. 20 combined hits, 14 combined runs. Denton deals the first pitch to Pollock, taken on the outside corner for strike one. On the day for Logan Pollock, 2 for 4 with an RBI single, a single in the third, and a pair of flyouts. The 0-1 pitch drops low, 1-1 the count. The Barons dugout now being very vocal as they are technically in the driver's seat. The 1-1. Missing low and inside ball 2. And when I say that, I mean, look, it's the bottom of the 9th. 3 outs away from going to extra innings, but if they score, they win. They can rest comfortably knowing that fact. A 2-1, skied out of play, and that'll even the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And they'd also be able to clinch a series win over the Oaks early in the season.
They took the win yesterday, 5-2. This is game number 2 of a 3-game series. The 2-2 jammed him, but called foul ball off the screen. We'll do it again. Third and final game of the weekend series will take place tomorrow back here at 1 o'clock, 12:45 pregame. Denton toes the rubber and fires into Pollock. Another one skied foul out of play, and we'll do it again for a third straight time at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
There's the changeup from Denton, trying to catch Pollock out in front. Pollock was able to put a good swing on it and fight it off.
The 2-2, this one, instead of being late on it, Pollock was early and fouls that one off into the Oaks bullpen.
Denton's got to be very careful. When you're a submariner, that makes it even more likely to hang a pitch. He's got to execute here because one pitch that he hangs, the game could be over.
The Michigan Wolverine trying to put the nail in the coffin here. The 2-2. Another one foul, and for the 5th straight time, we will do it at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Denton toes the rubber. Peers and fires the 2-2. This time he gets him on the slider. Strike 3, swing by Pollock, and that's out number 1 here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Second strikeout on the day for Denton. And for the Oaks collectively, strikeout number 7 on the game.
Denton slowed up Pollock's bat with 2 consecutive sliders on the hand. Came back with heat, and Pollock couldn't catch up.
First pitch to Argumedo is swung on and missed for strike 1. Out of the cleanup spot today, 2 for 4. Pair of singles, reached on a fielder's choice and struck out looking. 0-1. Skied in the left field, and that's going to drop for a single. Wright couldn't get a jump on it. And the game-winning run is now at first base in the form of Joseph Argumedo. Hunter Lewis will try to draw him in and bring this game to a close. Only the second hit given up on the season by Angus Denton.
Now Lewis is 0 for 4. Do you bunt Argumedo over to get the winning run in scoring position?
With 2 away, it's not worth it. First pitch into Hunter Lewis is inside for ball 1. And what I mean is, if you bunt and you get a run in scoring position, there's 2 away. It doesn't really matter. But if you get a runner in scoring position with 1 out, regardless of how you do it, you're in a better spot. The 1-0, Taylor made to second. Stepping on the bases, Velasquez fired it over to first for the unassisted 4-3 double play, and we are out of the 9th inning. To extra innings we go, the first extra inning game that we have seen this season, knotted up at 7. No runs, a hit, no errors, 1 left on base. To the top of the 10th we go, knotted up at 7 right here at the MLB Urban Youth Academy. Top of the 10th inning, the first time we have gone into a double-digit inning all season long, and it takes place in game number 4, or actually game number 5 for the Oaks, game number 3 for the Barons. 6, 7, 8 hitters due up as we are tied at 7. Michael Tillman, Bryce Veet, and Will Pickett's due up here. Tillman on the day, 1 for 3, a walk, a single, 2 runs scored, a fly out, and a ground out. Ryan Hare back on the mound for the Barons, and he deals the first pitch. Ripped over to third into the diving glove of Pollock. He gets up, makes the play over to first. In time. What a play at third base from Logan Pollock, his second incredible play of the day, and that's 1 out up on the board here on the top of the 10th inning.
Well, the cake that we awarded to Pollock for best defensive play of the Oaks baseball season no longer belongs to Logan Pollock. Well, actually, yes, it still does belong to Logan Pollock, a new play from Pollock. Anyway, that was the best play I've seen all year.
Bryce Vitt digs in now. 0 for 1 on the day. Pops foul. The first pitch he sees well above us and out of play. Strike 1. He walked in the 6th and then grounded out to third in the 8th. 7 runs, 9 hits, no errors for the Oaks. 7 runs, 12 hits, 2 errors for the Barons. As Hare deals the 0-1. Up and away, 1-1 the count. Striding out to the bullpen is Chris Keach for the Barons. Another right-handed pitcher out of UNLV. 1-1, low and away. He's actually from Cal State LA. A big thank you to Natalia Reynoso, the wonderful GM here for the Barons, for updating us on that one. The 1-1 popped out of play, 1-2 the count. The website does say UNLV, but I'm glad we got that correction. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 away. In a 7-7 ball game. Bryce Veet trying to stay alive here in this count. Down 1 ball and 2 strikes. Hare deals. Just missing inside on the breaking pitch that evens the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Oh, 3 balls and 2 strikes. The board says 2 balls and 2 strikes. I do believe it is 2 balls and 2 strikes. Nonetheless, though, that pitch is swung and a miss for strike 3. And Bryce Veet is down on strikes. We had a discrepancy between the press box and the scoreboard, but I think we can all agree that that was a swinging miss for strike 3, out number 2. Some discrepancies between our statisticians here, but again, I don't think it matters with that being an out as Will Pickett digs in. First pitch to him is a curveball in there for strike 1. Well, Pickett's has reached base all 4 times he's been up. A fielder's choice in the 2nd, a 2 RBI double in the 4th, an error on the 6th, and a walk and a run scored in the 8th. He's done in every way possible to get on base. The 0-1 sliced in the left center field. Wilson out of center will converge to his right and make the catch for out number 3. The Oaks go down quietly here in the top of the 10th. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left on base. To the bottom of the 10th inning we go. Wilson, Barnes, and Dean due up for the Barons after this on the Oaks Broadcasting Network. Bottom of the 10th inning here, and the Barons will try to walk off here in extras. Tied with Oaks 7-7. Andrew Wilson leads things off. Angus Denton back on the mound here for the Oaks for his third inning of work. Actually, I should say second inning of work. First pitch to Wilson is taken for ball one. Wilson on the day is 1 for 3. A pair of runs scored as the 1-0 pitch misses outside, 2-0 the count. He's walked, he's singled, he's stolen a base, he's flown out, and grounded out in 4 trips. From Marymount College in California, the 2-0 pitch is a high one hopper over to third. Pickett gets it and fires it over to first for out number 1. Even though he was down in the count, Denton was able to find a way to make the out, and that's what makes a good pitcher. It doesn't necessarily mean the amount of strikeouts that you can muster, but rather the outs that you can muster and how you do it. Right there, Denton was able to channel his inner contact pitch and throw it to perfection. That'll bring up Roosevelt Barnes. Now he shows bunt pulls back upstairs, ball 1 on the day for the Morehouse College product. 1 for 3 as well with a walk, a single, 2 stolen bases, a run scored, a strikeout, and a ground out. The 1-0. Cut on and missed for strike 1. 1-1 the count. Denton toes the rubber and fires the 1-1. That one glides outside the zone. 2-1 the count. The Oaks scored first in this one in the top of the first inning. As Denton deals the 2-1. Chopped out of play down the third base line. 2-2 the count. The Barons responded with a run of their own in the bottom of the third. Then both teams exploded. The Oaks in the top of the fourth scored 4. The Barons in the bottom of the fourth scored 4. Then the Barons scored 2 more in the fifth, and the Oaks were able to tie it up with a run in the 6th and a run in the 8th. The 2-2 pitch swung and missed. Strike 3. Roosevelt Barnes is down swinging, and that is the 3rd strikeout of the day for Angus Denton, and out number 2 here in the bottom of the 10th inning.
When Denton gets ahead in the count, he's very difficult to get a hit against with 2 strikes.
Cameron Dean now steps in and swings and misses on the first pitch for strike 1. He's 0 for 3. 2 groundouts, a strikeout, and a sacrifice fly to go along with 2 RBIs on the game. The 0-1 taken over the heart of the plate, belt high for strike 2. A good pitch there from Denton, and he's ahead in the count. The Razorback is a quick worker on the mound as he deals the 0-2. That slider runs low and away, ball 1. The first extra inning game of the season here. The Oaks played 3 in total last year. They try to minimize that as much as possible. The 1-2 is a short hopper back to the mound, then gets it on the first hop and tosses it over to Lewis at first for out number 3. Both teams go down in order here in the 10th. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base for the Barons. We're headed to the top of the 11th, all knotted up at 7 apiece right here on the Oaks Broadcasting Network. Top of the 11th inning here. The Oaks and the Barons both trying to fight to win this game, tied at 7-7. For play-by-play of the 11th inning in hour number 3 of our broadcast, Jordan Brenner.
Thanks, Jonathan. Tanner Wright steps in against Ryan Hare in his 3rd inning of work. First pitch to Wright. Shows Bunny, gets a beautiful one down to the third baseman. No contest. Wright reaches first base on a base hit bunt. He represents the go-ahead run at first base.
That was a gorgeous bunt, a fastball that he was able just to push forth, and that's called a dead fish bunt. You can get the roll just enough to where it stops in between third and home plate, so that way both players are at ends trying to get it, and Wright is quick enough out of the box.
Wright, that was his 3rd hit of the game, 3rd hit in a row. 2 base hits and a double. Hare checks right over at first. He's got speed. Elijah Alexander steps in. He shows bunt, gets another beauty down. Wright's going to get over to second base easily. And the Oaks have the go-ahead run in scoring position. A beautiful sacrifice bunt from Alexander. Getting the job done for the Oaks.
And now we play with a little bit of small ball. The Oaks, not necessarily a bunting team, at least not historically, but right here, head coach Solis and the third and first base coach Brian Wilson and Kyle Jones all agreeing to go back-to-back bunts on 2 pitches, and it's been productive here with a runner in scoring position.
Kyle Velasquez steps in, hitless today. First pitch, taken low and away, 1-0. 7-7. 7 runs on 10 hits for the Oaks. 7 runs, 12 hits for the Barons. Hare gets his sign, kicks and offers. Low and away again, 2-0. On deck, Sam Shaken. He's 0 for 5, 2 strikeouts, 1 looking, 1 swinging. Velasquez, a chance to put the Oaks on top. Hare kicks and offers. Low and away again, 3-0.
Big spot here for Velasquez, and if you're Hare, the last thing you want to do is give the Oaks any more daylight than they already have here in extra innings. By the way, Andy Rosales is warming up in the pen for the Barons. He's listed as a right-handed pitcher, but he is listed with a left-throwing, left-batting as well.
3-0 pitch is in the dirt for a walk. And Sam Shaken heads to the plate for his 6th at-bat. A chance to redeem himself. All would be forgiven if he gets a hit here. Brandon Lewis looms on deck. He'll bat unless there is a double play.
Shaken trying to turn things around after an 0 for 5 day.
First pitch to Shaken. Outside corner, called a strike. Boy, it seems every time Shaken gets to the plate.
I was just about to say he takes the first pitch every time for strike 1. If that's what you were going to say.
You read my mind. 0-1 to Shaken. Hare gets his sign, checks the runner, kicks and offers. Lined into right center field, has a chance to drop. Rotating over is Wilson. He makes a running play for the 2nd out in the inning. Andrew Wilson showing off the wheels, saving a run, and perhaps the game for the Barons out in center field.
And after the miscue he had in center field earlier in the game, that allowed Will Pickett to drive in 2 runs in the 4th inning, trying to make amends for that miscue. And right there, I think he made for it up a little bit to the Barons fans making that play.
0 for 6 now for Sam Shaken on the day. Brandon Lewis steps in. Hit by a pitch, a hit, 1 for 4. 2 outs, 2 on. The pitch is a curveball, a little bit upstairs and in. Hare didn't get the necessary drop for that to be called a strike.
And for Hare, you have to take a sigh of relief, because if that dropped a little bit lower, that would have been a hanging curveball, and you bet Lewis would have ripped it out of here.
1-0 to Lewis. Hare checks the runner and offers. Off the plate away, 2-0. Bailey Holbrook on deck. 1 for 5 for Holbrook. 2 strikeouts. A ground out, a fly out, and a base hit up the middle. 2-0 to Lewis. Swung on in, missed. 2-1. Tanner Wright is on second base. Velasquez out on first. 2-1. Fastball low and away. 3-1.
Lewis showing the patience here, making Hare work. Try to get him to throw a strike, and now a perfect hitter's count. Expect Lewis to try to take this one into no man's land.
3-1 to Lewis. Hare kicks and fires. Curveball lined into left field, down for a hit. Right around third, he'll score, and the Oaks take the lead in the 11th inning on a Brandon Lewis RBI base hit to left field.
And that's exactly what Brandon Lewis needed to do. Work the count, get into a 3-1 spot, put Hare in a position to throw you a strike. Hare made a mistake, and Lewis capitalized, scoring the go-ahead run here in the top of the 11th inning.
Brandon Lewis coming up clutch. Bailey Holbrook steps in. Chance to extend the lead. Takes a fastball inside, 1-0. Eight runs, 11 hits for the Oaks. 7 runs, 12 hits for the Barons. Hare checks the runner at second. Fires in a fastball a little bit low, 2-0. Kyle Velasquez went to second base on the base hit from Lewis. 2-0 pitch to Holbrook. Lifted high and deep to right field. Going back to the track is Barnes. He makes the play a few steps in front of the track, but not before the Oaks take the lead. A run on 2 hits, no errors, and 2 men left on base. We head to the bottom of the 11th inning. The Oaks a chance to seal this game. 8-7 once again here on the Oaks Broadcast Network. Well, Angus Denton did his job, 3 scoreless innings. Dave Solis now turns to John Vergara with a save opportunity. The Oaks tacked on a run in the top half of the 11th inning to go ahead 8-7. Looks like there's going to be a pinch hitter for the Barons. Jonathan, do you have the name?
He's not on the roster. He is sporting number 28. We'll get the name for you here in just a moment. It's Adam Sandehas is the pinch hitter for the game right now.
The lefty sets and offers a first pitch fastball on the corner, 0-1 from John Vergara, number 32. Last year, an ERA just over 3 at Glendale City College.
So far, has a 4.5 ERA and 2 innings of work on the season.
0-1 pitch. Fastball upstairs and away. Taken, 1-1. One and one now. Vergara gets his sign, toes the rubber, and offers. Fastball away, 2-1. Sandehas, his first plate appearance of the day, he just pinch hit for Ryan Hare. Two and one pitch. Big swing and a miss, 2-2.
And how about the only Oaks left-handed pitcher trying to get the job done? Actually, check that. One of the Oaks' 2 left-handed pitchers now because Nick Greencover did join the team. But regardless, not a position that the Oaks are abundant in, the left-handed pitching spot. Vergara's going to try to get the job done here.
2-2 to Sandehas. Swung on and missed. A swinging strikeout for Vergara. 1 out, and the Oaks are 2 outs away from stealing a win here at MLB Urban Youth Academy against the Barons.
And it's going to bring up a Trent Anderson who is struggling somewhat in this game. He does have a sac bunt, but 0 for 4 otherwise with a pair of strikeouts. He is in a big spot in the 1 hole, trying to capitalize on the big day he did yesterday, but a lackluster performance today so far.
First pitch from Vergara. Swung on, fouled back out of play, 0-1. Anderson has some speed. If he gets to first base, you know he's thinking about taking second. Vergara peers in for his sign, quickly decides, toes the rubber, and here's the delivery. Off speed, swung on and missed, 0-2.
And the Barons are swinging at bad pitchers. That's a sign that I think the Oaks are in the driver's seat. When you're down, patience is more virtue than ever, and patience is not something these Barons batters are displaying right now.
0-2 from Vergara. The pitch. Just a bit off the plate, 1-2. It's been an eventful game so far. A lot of hits on both sides. 1-2 pitch to Trent Anderson. Fastball above the head of the catcher, Bryce Veet, all the way to the screen for a ball, 2-2. Two and out. Vergara already a strikeout, now kicks and pitches. Off speed a little bit upstairs, 3-2. Vergara wants a new baseball. Exchanges with Bryce Veet, the catcher. Something didn't feel right with the last one. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody on. And perhaps the most exciting game of the Oaks young season. Full count. Swung on and missed. The second consecutive strikeout for Vergara. The Barons are down to their last out, and Joshua Benuelos comes to the plate. He has 3 hits on the afternoon and 5 plate appearances. 2 ground outs to short, a double, and 2 base hits. He is their last opportunity. Logan Pollock awaits on deck, hoping he gets the chance to hit. Fastball, maybe off speed. Swung on and missed in the dirt, 0-1. The first road game of the Oaks season, trying to get back above 500. 0-1 offering from Vergara. Upstairs on the heater, 1-1. Vergara Quickly on the rubber for the 1-1 pitch. Swung on and missed again. 1-2. One strike away.
Big spot here for both players. All the drama unfolds to this moment in the ball game.
The 1-2 pitch from Vergara. Upstairs and off the plate, 2-2.
For Banuelos, this is the spot, if you're the Barons, you would like to be in, obviously, under the circumstances. Your best hitter, at least in today's ball game, who's 3 for 5. With an opportunity.
2-2 pitch. Swung on and foul tipped back to the screen. We'll do 2-2 again. Brandon Lewis with the go-ahead base hit down the left field line in the top half of the inning. Gave the Oaks the 8-7 advantage. Now Vergara in for the 2-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Vergara, the first save of his Oaks career. He strikes out the side in the 11th inning to clinch an 8-7 Oaks victory. What a game, Jonathan.
What a game indeed. And I'm going to take over the postgame here, Jordan, in a moment. But overall, wow, what a way to end it. By the way, the total game time was 3 hours and 16 minutes. What a way to play the first road game of the season for the Oaks. 8 runs, 11 hits. No errors, total of 9 left on base is their final line. The final line for the Barons, 7 runs, 12 hits, 2 errors, and a total of 7 runners left on base. The story of the ball game has been the abundance of offense we saw early, the flat-lined offense that we saw in the middle of the game, and then the clutch 11th inning by Brandon Lewis, who we have been waiting to see explode all game long. I don't know if you could have drawn up a more fun game for the fans than this one to start off the road stretch here for the Oaks. And now they tie up the series 1-1 in a big game tomorrow for both these teams.
Absolutely. Brandon Lewis finally breaking out with that big hit that we've been waiting for. He wins the game on an RBI single to left field. But beyond that, let's give some credit to the bullpen. Angus Denton threw 3 flawless innings for these Oaks. He was just splendid, giving the Oaks necessary innings so that they could win the game in extras. Also, Vergara striking out the side in his only inning of work. That was also very impressive.
So we're going to have to wrap it up right there on the Oaks postgame show. Quick postgame, unfortunately, because these road games need the team to hit the bus early, which means that we need to get on the field for a postgame interview. Jordan Brenner will be standing by with Vergara in a moment. On Twitter, head over to Twitter, @Caneo_Oaks for that postgame show. In just about 2 or 3 minutes, John Vergara, player of the game, gets the save. Angus Denton is the winning pitcher. Ryan Hare is the losing pitcher. The Oaks are now 3-2 on the season, 2-1 in the CCL. The Barons dropped to 1-2 on the season, 1-2 in the CCL. For everybody who made this broadcast possible, 4 wonderful innings of play-by-play by my broadcasting partner, Jordan Brenner, our producer and man behind the scenes, Sean McKinnon. My name is Jonathan Rifkin, signing off. Also, a big special thank you to the Barons and their GM, Natalia Reynoso, for making sure we were accommodated and being so wonderful to us here. We will see you tomorrow at 12:45 for the pregame show, 1 o'clock game time. The series is all tied up at 1-1. We'll see what happens on the other side. Head over to Twitter as soon as we sign off here in just a moment for the Oaks postgame interview with John Vergara. Until then, until tomorrow, my name is Jonathan Rifkin, signing off. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. We'll see you back here tomorrow at 1 o'clock for the Oaks and Barons, Game 3 of the series. Once again, the Oaks win it in extras, 8-7.